week, they are all absolutely at a loss as to how he is not completely depressed.
I've known Carl for years now, and he really is a great guy, super nice. But honestly, I don't know how he doesn't go home and cry himself to sleep every night. I mean, walks dogs for a living and no one will ever date him. I really don't get it.
Saying that they were baffled at how their close friend managed to remain even moderately happy day in and day out given his life circumstances, sources confirmed they were regularly confronted with Carl's perplexingly gregarious and affable demeanor.
I mean, Carl's life really, really sucks, but somehow he manages to wave good morning to me every time I see him, and he always has this big smile on his face. Maybe he's on some kind of medication.
Things have always been really awful for Carl, but he's never really been depressed. I mean, I make 3 times as much money as him, and I'm totally miserable. Honestly, we all thought he would have killed himself by now, but he hasn't.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can help spread the ideas of liberty with our Patreon for just $5 per month at amps.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. That's the phone number for you to get in on the conversation with us and bring up whatever's on your mind. That number is 603-283-6160. And you can bring up whatever's on your mind, change the subject. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
FCC will do it live. It's Riley O'Bill.
And Richie Rich.
We're streaming on the internet on X now, and we're also live on the radio.
In the spaces?
Yeah.
The X spaces?
Yeah. A little
Nice.
weird way they label it. But
I know, it is a little strange that they call it the space.
it's kind of just like clunky.
It's a space.
Yeah.
It's like
Can
you
you
forget
take?
it's there.
Can you now then take calls through the space if people wanted to participate?
Not like that, I don't think, but
Okay.
I put the phone number on every time I post it.
Okay.
So hopefully people watching get the idea that they can indeed call.
Because spaces are for conversations.
There have been people that have called and said they're watching on X.
Okay.
So maybe like 1 or 2 so far since we started streaming a little bit ago.
Maybe they're just stoned.
Maybe. It's
And
popular activity that Free Talk Live listeners love to do is be stoned.
I love listening to FTL on X.
yeah, on
Feel the
X.com.
love. Oh,
I'm just-
.com, okay.
There's lots of different things to talk about today, luckily. The thing I titled the show about, I think it has capacity to be funny.
I hope so, because Sunday's fun day.
I know, right?
Ian sent me it because he reads the Wall Street Journal. And it says, a small band of socialists is sowing panic in the Democratic Party.
Oh.
Okay.
This from a reputable news source, huh?
Yep, from the Wall Street Journal, a reputable news source.
Interesting.
And
I can't believe, I get it, like you're in jail, but do you really want to bore yourself with the Wall Street Journal while
Ian
you're
reads
in
it
jail?
like it's his job.
Okay. Because it used to be?
Yeah, kind of. Well, he helps me genuinely. Like, if I am just like, oh, I didn't see anything on X that was newsworthy, and he sent me stuff, that helps me.
I'd be in front of the TV watching soap operas and Family Feud. Ian's in the
Taking
corner.
it easy.
Ian's in the corner with the Wall Street Journal.
Marking it
What am
up.
I going to send Bonnie to? Oh, highlight this for Bonnie.
He has kind of a what's the word, reputation of being like a loner in there, and
Okay.
people have said he looks like Jesus or a plane bomber because of his hair.
Okay.
And also they say that like he looks like, when I met you, I just thought you were like, seemed like you were full of peace and stuff like that. He's gotten that exact compliment so many times.
Interesting.
And
Well,
he's
that's
gotten-
true when he had short hair and
Yeah.
a soul patch.
And then he's also gotten the compliment twice now. One person just said, like, you have really good posture. And one person said, you have the best posture I've ever seen in my life. I
Okay.
forget. The other day when he told me and my sister Bailey that,
Slouch, nerd.
we were sitting there like slouching and we're like, oh man, stretching, like sitting back up after that.
Nobody two straps it. Got to one strap it.
Oh my God, I hate that. I think that's actually what broke my back. And I was telling my sister that because she's going into the 10th grade, and I was like, Bailey, please, actually, like, first of all, get a locker. I know that they're actually kind of lame. Even when, like, the movies.
Are they lame? Lockers?
They were in my
I don't want to carry around books for the whole day.
But I feel like people just, like, didn't have their books somehow. It's like somehow people got around carrying books.
Because it's in the locker.
And
you stop off at the locker on your way to class to grab the book for the next class.
I often just had the two books for that class. It's like not every single class needed a book, but anyways, I remember walking around with a book here, like in my arms, and a backpack on that was still heavy. And I also would not wear it on two straps for some reason. I was just like, no, that would be so lame.
So I actually had a suitcase that had wheels on it that I'd wheel around for my books because I have Braille books.
Oh, man.
And
okay.
I had to have the right volume of the Braille book because when they sent Braille textbooks for high school, they came in boxes.
Okay.
So I had to make sure I had the right volume for the Braille textbook.
That's a little fair.
Yeah, that's totally fair. At first I thought you were just like, oh, I preferred a rolling briefcase, but once you explained it,
it's
no, it makes
easier
sense.
to wheel around a bunch of Braille books because they're so heavy.
Are they like every page is like plastic? Thick?
No.
Oh, okay.
Some, like when the math books did diagrams or graphs or whatever or shapes, they made them out of plastic for some reason. So,
all right.
Well, we already have a familiar caller on the line. We have Sarah in New Mexico, and Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, we're going to be getting 3 more speeding cameras.
Boo.
No, thank you.
Boo.
Sarah, the first thing we started talking about on this show today is that apparently the Democratic Party is panicking over a small band of socialists, such as the Mamdani guy and Bernie Sanders. Like, the Democrats are apparently scared of the socialists. I'm not exactly sure why. I did not start reading the article yet.
Well, because the Democratic Socialists are running in more areas, and they're moderately successful in their campaigns at the moment.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Sarah?
Well, aren't there like different socialists all over, like different parts? I mean, it's not like they're just a one solid Democratic Party. So,
yeah.
I mean,
which is why the Democrats are panicking that the socialists are overrunning.
Exactly. They want kind of like continuity. And I've read ahead a little bit now. It says that the DSA, the Democratic Socialist, I forget, A stands for
America?
like America, maybe. Their advances are stirring consternation, sometimes panic among mainstream Democrats, dreading their own Tea Party movement in which a radical fringe hijacks the party and taints their brand. What do you think about that, Sarah? As a socialist.
I mean, it depends on where they're at, what Democrat state they're in, and what they're trying to do, win an election. So it's, I just want to say that, yeah. So anyways, hey, could I talk about the speeding cameras?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. That's what you called in about.
We have 38 speeding cameras. They've already added 1 more on Coors. They're going to add 2 more. But it's okay because our Democratic mayor, Mayor Keller, he said he liked the speeding cameras. He got like 67%. He won by 13%. So that's it. You know, voters have spoken that we want a candidate that's going to put speeding cameras.
Yeah. Your voters are dumb.
Back to the Democratic Party. Well, you know what? There was 500 Democrat Party delegates that voted for a lieutenant governor. So our lieutenant governor, she won, Maggie Toulouse-Oliver, but she had health problems. She was getting like really ill, so she dropped out. So then we picked out like a woman, Garcia Richards, and a man, Pope Jr. And it was like really, really almost like 50, 47%, 53%. Everybody's like, wow, how come he got that many votes?
Because he cheated.
You know, yeah, go ahead. So it's like everybody's like, well, we didn't expect him to get that much vote. But again, you gotta have a strategy to win an election. It's not about what feels good, what, you know, in all, you want to win an election. So we already have Deb Haaland. She's a female. And obviously, to appeal to male voters, don't you think I feel like it's better to have a male on the ticket as a backup, like a second in command, and a lieutenant governor.
Not unless she's cute.
Honestly, I don't know. There's lots of governors that are female, so I don't know. No, I'm just pointing out that maybe. Well, honestly, weirdly, maybe as far as female politicians, governors might be in the running to be cutest because there's like, wait, Kristi Noem, that was a governor, right?
Was she?
Yes,
Okay.
she was the governor of South Dakota, I want to say.
Right.
Okay.
She
and then
was
she
kinda
became the
pretty.
border czar or
Then
whatever.
there's the governor of Massachusetts, like Wu, or is she like the mayor of Boston? Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm
She's
talking
pretty.
about we were out of a lieutenant, the second in charge, like a vice president of a state. She dropped out of the race, and then they had. Yeah, I'm talking about the lieutenant governor. I feel like if we picked a man, the man that was running was getting a lot of votes.
Bonnie's making a face. I don't think she's cute.
Because the governor. No, sorry, it's actually the governor of Massachusetts. I looked up apparently Maura Healey, and no, she's not cute. My bad. But still, like in the realm of politicians, maybe she's not the worst. But anyways, go ahead.
I mean, the opponent must be garbage. Well, it's Massachusetts, so they already lean left.
But the Boston mayor is pretty. She's like an Asian woman.
All right.
But do you understand my point of view? Is that our lieutenant governor dropped out of the race?
I don't know if you've made a point or just been stating facts.
Yeah, I'm honestly just not sure. Are you saying that they need to let the people have the red light machines because that's what they're voting for to win? Is that what you're saying?
So I'm trying to make a point that there were 500 people from New Mexico that could of the Democratic Party could vote for a replacement. It doesn't go up to the regular voters.
Okay.
But there was two top candidates. One was a woman, and the other one was a Air Force graduate man that used to be a senator. But it was amazing that he got a really close, almost. I mean, she still won, but he's got a really high vote. And people are like, "What? Why did this happen?"
Why do you think it happened, Sarah?
Well, I mean, think about it. Okay, if you got
I'm trying.
a woman for
Failing.
Deb Haaland, she's a woman. Why not put a man as a second in command?
Is this just because you think a woman can't win? Because honestly, I just think that that's not true in politics anymore.
Depends how high up you go. I mean, there's a lot of female politicians, but like, can they win the big one?
Like presidential, yeah, maybe not right now. Michelle Wu, she's like 41 and attractive female Boston mayor. You don't think you guys could pull that in Albuquerque, Sarah?
Okay, I'm just look at this. I'm looking at the ticket. Okay, I'm talking about. Okay, you got the governor running for mayor. The governor is a woman. I'm talking about the lieutenant governor.
Okay.
It was better balance if they had a male that came, a man, lieutenant, the second in command, backup. Because he came out of the Air
Right.
Force.
Yeah, maybe
And I think Bonnie's question was like, do you think they need a man because a double female ticket wouldn't be successful?
Well, you know what? I think the New Mexico will still going to get it. I mean, New Mexico is a very heavily Democrat. But
Okay. So they don't need a man.
Okay, but he got like 47% of the vote. Like he got 290. And then she's got over like almost like really, really close.
Okay.
Down
Do
the
they like
middle.
run together? Something like vice presidents run with their president?
I think so.
That's crazy. I never even.
That's correct. Like a
Oh, okay.
president, and you got the vice. That's what I'm telling you. Governors just don't run by themselves. It's got you got the governor
That's kinda crazy.
and the vice. Okay.
I
you
mean,
got
well,
the governor and
how much of the vice president, when you think about the presidential race, how much does the vice president actually influence your decision to vote for president?
I've only voted twice and had nothing to do with the vice presidential candidate.
So if you scale that down, right, like who cares who the lieutenant governor is going to be? You're voting for the governor, right?
And I'm just saying, my point that is completely stupid and doesn't matter in the scheme of things, that governors might be the most attractive politician ring of female politicians. The current governor of New Mexico, she's like an older woman, but she's kind of cute. And it's kind of weird that they look kind of like normal people.
So are you suggesting that elections are won by women because it's a beauty pageant?
Well, that, like Sarah said it, and maybe Richie Rich said it too, and thanks for the call, Sarah. I think that it kind of depends on the position, because for some reason, like, a woman has not been able to win presidency, and there hasn't been a female wait, yes, there is. My bad.
If you're trying to pull the male vote and you put up an ugly female, I don't think you're doing yourself any favors.
That's a good point. Like, everybody liked Condoleezza Rice was, like, not vice president, she was Secretary of State, but everybody thought she was, like, attractive and well-spoken. What? I thought so.
You thought Condoleezza Rice was attractive?
When I was a kid, I always thought she was like, I was like, she's pretty, I like her.
Okay.
I thought everybody thought that. Maybe it was just like my dad or something.
Well, I'll give you well-spoken, but I don't
remember if I've ever heard Condoleezza Rice ever speak.
Okay.
I don't really remember her speaking, honestly, when I was a kid.
Well,
this is like a completely vapid,
I'll say educated
point.
then, as opposed to attractive, but also in a position that you're not really voting for Secretary of State. Right? Like, who cares? You can be an ugly Secretary of State.
I genuinely didn't know, and I'm 30, that lieutenant governor is run with their governor. Okay. Did you?
Yeah.
That just
don't pay attention.
Blew my mind. Yeah, I felt like you'd just vote for each one, like each category there. Yeah, it's blowing my mind. But
maybe in the primaries.
I mean, maybe Sarah has a point, because the last election apparently was a female running with a male lieutenant governor, but I don't know if that conversation was really going anywhere, and I think her main point was like, oh, they need to do that, and they need to give us more red light cameras, or maybe she's just also stating that they're getting more red light cameras. I wonder if they're going to use AI.
I think she's saying that the people have spoken, they want the red light cameras, so they're voting for the politicians that are promising them more red light cameras.
Which is a little concerning, because, these cameras are going to be used for more than just red lights. They're going to be surveilling your license plates and surveilling your face and who knows what else.
Yeah, that's been going on with red light cameras for forever. Now we have flock cameras. And I saw something, I can pull up something about it to make sure I'm not, like, spreading this information. But I saw something today.
On Free Talk Live, never.
I saw something today that was, we've never been able to isolate the virus. No, I'm just kidding. Just spreading misinformation. No, I saw something today that was saying that, like, I don't know if it was both sides of Congress or just one side yet, has passed something saying that in the future we won't be able to buy cars that aren't, like, monitoring the driver.
Oh, yeah.
That's real?
Yeah.
It's horrible. Well, we have David Liebman kindly holding. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I got your red light camera for you right here.
Got your red light camera hanging low.
Good. Okay, so I wanted to pick up where we left off last night. I was calling in to talk a little bit about O'Neill colonies.
O'Neill colony? I've never heard of this.
Yeah, so this is where this TV series that I'm creating called Legends of the Free State. It picks up in an O'Neill colony that's orbiting above New Hampshire. It's part of New Hampshire territory in the year 2200.
Was it named after our wonderful ancestor who never got to move here, Dan O'Neill? Just kidding. He's a sometimes caller, runs Enemies of the State.
How high up is this colony?
It's 300,000 kilometers up, roughly.
Okay. I don't know kilometers.
What's a kilometer?
Yeah, so it's roughly the same distance as the moon.
Oh, okay. So and it's
like a satellite?
But it's above New Hampshire, or it's just up there in a New Hampshire territory?
Yeah, I should say it's just up there. I originally imagined it in geosynchronous orbit so that it would have constant, direct connection with New Hampshire at
okay.
At a tenth of a second, light delay, that sort of thing. But actually, geosynchronous is too crowded, and they don't think they're going to be putting any in it. No one thinks they're going to be putting O'Neill colonies there.
The only reason I bring it up is because Ernest Hancock and his ilk were like, they have also a fiction series about, like, pirates in the sky, because land territories only go so high up. And so if you can colonize above that threshold, you're technically free. And I forget what his fiction work is called, but I would look into that. And I think that there's some basis of that in reality. Like, a certain number of kilometers, in the sky is no longer territorially owned by a Earth state of some kind.
Yeah, Ernie and I have actually been debating a little bit about his scenario.
Okay.
Which probably is a good sci-fi scenario for 2200 or so. But I guess our argument is, he has treated some of this stuff as like, short-term activism, whereas I'm pretty sure he's not going to be putting anything in orbit anytime soon. So that's, I guess, my point of debate with Ernie. But of course, he's a friend.
Well, yeah, but I just, I don't want a future in like 3000 or 2700 where you go that far up and the colony is still tied to a state. Like that's not libertarian fiction I want to be part of. If you get that high up, just be autonomous and not be tied to New Hampshire or any other.
Why can't I be tied to New Hampshire if I want to be?
Well, you can, but why would you take the New Hampshire jurisdiction up there with you if you can be free from it, Riley?
Because New Hampshire's a free state. It's a free place.
Right now?
No, I'm talking in the year 2200. It'll be a free place.
So you're saying that the New Hampshire being a free place is a protectorate? It
Yes,
protects you up
saying.
there so the colony of Massachusetts would come and invade you 300,000 kilometers because you're not free. You're not tied to another jurisdiction.
Wouldn't that be a strange book or a strange
Yeah.
movie?
I just think if you get that high up and you can separate yourself from a state and everyone can just be free up there and not tied to a political jurisdiction is the fiction I want to be a part of. Let's do that.
Okay.
It's Dave's fiction.
I know.
We can enjoy it or not.
Well, yes, but I still need to try and adhere to the laws of physics and the plausibility of politics. So I'm projecting that in the year 2200, the current trends will have continued to some extent. And the current trend in New Hampshire since 2004 has been for it to at least maintain its liberty against the rest of the world. And some people would say it has grown its liberty. So, if that continues for 200 years, that could result in a nation state you're actually, someone like Riley or any of you might be comfortable living under and want to come under their jurisdiction. And there's a historical precedent for this.
And one thing about it would probably be like if the people, like somebody has to on Earth create the, whatever that is that they put together to send off this love airship or whatever, peace and love airship, whatever. What's his name? Ernie ends up naming it. But anyways, so maybe it would just be that they'd be like, I'm sending this up with the flag of New Hampshire, and like maybe that's just most likely, if nothing else, like they made it in New Hampshire, and they would want, like maybe there are other colonies around there that would want to attack or something. I don't know. What do you think, Dave? Or what are you thinking?
The historical precedent that I'm referring to is the Killington event, which was back in 2004. The town of Killington, Vermont, in central Vermont, voted to join New Hampshire and leave Vermont, even though it does not, it's not connected directly to New Hampshire. It doesn't have a contiguous border. So this sort of raises the possibility or the concept of in New Hampshire expanding voluntarily in unexpected directions.
Interesting concept.
More Free Talk Live coming up, 603-283-6160. Give us your opinions on this or whatever else you want to talk about. 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
First things first, you should offer, not ask, to renegotiate. I'm Holland Cook with Inflation Hacks. For instant savings, make a list. Video and music streaming services, insurance premiums, your cable bill, your cell phone plan, that gym membership you stopped using by February, all those recurring costs that hit your credit card like clockwork every month. And about that card, tell them you want a lower rate. Many who do get one. And if you don't, because credit cards are stealing each other's customers, sign up for a new one with an introductory 0% balance transfer offer so you at least stop the clock on what you already owe. How are you coping? Post your inflation hacks at And you can quoteme.com.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has visited the enclave of Ceuta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours, with at least 18 people killed. Sanchez condemned the mass crossing as an attack on Spain's territorial integrity, but stopped short of blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over both Ceuta and Melilla. France has announced it's reinforcing controls along its border with Spain, while Italy has called for Spain to be suspended from Europe's open borders Schengen zone. Ross Cullen reports from Bordeaux.
Juan Jesus Vivas, who is the president of the Spanish semi-enclave, said on Friday that the situation that Ceuta is going through is absolutely unsustainable after 60,000 migrants crossed the border with Morocco into the Spanish city located on the North African coast. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the breach of the border during a visit to Ceuta, saying that the arrival of thousands of migrants was an attack on Spain's territorial integrity. But he stopped short from blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over Ceuta and Melilla, another Spanish semi-enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast.
Several Palestinians were wounded in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza Friday, just hours after US President Donald Trump announced a deal for the complete disarmament of Hamas, a deal the Israeli government says it can't accept. The agreement signed in Egypt would require Israel to pull back from territory it seized in Gaza, beyond the positions it held when the ceasefire took effect. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's defense minister has repeatedly said Israel will remain in Gaza permanently. From Tel Aviv, Blake Sifton reports.
The Israeli military has recently been carrying out strikes several times per week in Gaza, aimed at targeting members of Hamas they say were involved in the October 7th attacks. We should remember that at least 1,168 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes in Gaza since the ceasefire came into effect. And just a little while ago, there were reports of further airstrikes in Gaza. So the ball really now is in Israel's court about whether or not to accept this proposal. Prime Minister Netanyahu is under extraordinary pressure not to withdraw from Gaza.
Costa Rica's Rebecca Grinspans emerged as the frontrunner in the first informal straw poll to choose the next United Nations Secretary-General, winning 10 votes of encouragement from the 15 members of the Security Council. 7 candidates, 4 women, 3 men, are vying to succeed Antonio Guterres, whose second 5-year term expires at the end of December. The Security Council did not officially release the results, and paper ballots were destroyed after counting. And the Asian Football Confederation has joined counterparts in the Americas and Europe to oppose a move to sell off minority stakes in FIFA. Football's governing bodies propose creating a subsidiary through third parties that could have a role in organising major tournaments, including the World Cup. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com, and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control in 603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. That's the phone number to call to get in on the conversation with us and bring up whatever is on your mind. I'd like to thank JP Sparkplug for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that JP Sparkplug, when the first reason is like a what's it called? A tongue twister. That means that JP Sparkplug went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to JP Sparkplug and everyone who supports us. Again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. That wasn't some kind of like a dirty trick, was it? Like, you know, like is that some kind of like, you know, Hugo... I can't think of any of them all of a sudden. You know, those things like, hey, somebody's calling for you. It's
Amanda Hug and Kiss?
Yeah, exactly. Is that one of those? I'm just not, it's not clicking. JP Sparkplug?
Didn't sound like one to me.
Well, anyways.
I think you're okay.
With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
And Richie Rich.
And we appreciate our amplifiers, especially those that don't try to trick us with silly names. Maybe that's his true real name.
Maybe so.
Oh,
Last name Hunt, first name Mike.
Oh,
Mike
no,
Hunt?
no,
Don't do
no,
it. Don't do
Riley. Riley, the point is you just have
Did
to
you say
think
it, Riley?
about it. He did, but I was
Oh,
talking.
man.
Riley.
Okay, good.
Oh my god. No, I'm not actually mad. I'm like laughing.
Say it in your brain.
I'm pretty sure that was totally fine. Anyways, we have a caller waiting for us
Well, I
while
did
we're
put the H in there, so.
I think that might make it worse. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The H is kind of such a passive sound. But
Michael Hunt.
yeah. So
Goes
we
by
have
Mike.
a caller in the line named Parker from Connecticut. Parker, have you called into Free Talk Live before?
Yeah, I call maybe once a year.
Awesome. Well, welcome back. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind
Your
today?
annual call.
I was curious if when LPNH was still affiliated, did you guys run fusion tickets up there?
I don't know what that means. I heard you say fusion tickets, and I forgot to ask you when I screened the call. I was like, is that like a band or something?
I guess it's when one party backs another party.
Oh. Well, okay, so I'm not a member of LPNH, but I do recall them getting into trouble, for lack of a better term, for like endorsing candidates from other parties.
Oh, I see. Like
Right?
because
Like
they endorsed Trump. Is that what you mean?
As opposed to the Libertarian, which is like, the Libertarian Party's point of consternation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, how dare you?
Word of the day.
Consternation?
Yeah, we said
Okay.
it twice now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. I missed the first one.
It was an article. I don't typically just say it.
Oh, okay.
I guess in some states it's common for third parties or minor parties to fuse or, dual back a major party candidate.
I don't know if LPNH is doing that specifically, but I know that, or maybe I don't know this, but I had heard that Steve Valet is going to run for governor as the Libertarian Party candidate, and he's a pretty awesome guy. But he's not running as a Republican or
In
anything.
New Hampshire or?
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Okay.
And I'm going to vote for him for sure. I don't like Kelly
Okay.
Ayotte at all.
I mean, it's like, I hear what you're saying, and I feel like now that, one of the stories that you brought up initially was Democrats having a problem with socialists
Uh-huh.
in the midst, right? I'm sure that there's a socialist party in some state, right, that rather than running their own socialist candidate is going to be endorsing the Democrat who's running as a socialist, right? So like something like that wouldn't make sense. And they're like, well, we got our party points in there because, he might not be running as a socialist party, but he's still one of us.
Part of my question is I'm concerned about kind of different minor parties turning into funnels for the duopoly. That's kind of my concern. But it seems to have worked in New Hampshire to some degree with liberty-minded Republicans.
Well, I mean, what is the concern? The minor parties aren't going to go anywhere. The duopoly is pretty well rooted at this point in party politics. So if you're, that's one of the victories that the socialist, the Democratic Socialist Party of America, or whatever they're called, or the Communist Party, will say is like, well, we've never won an election, but look at the Democrat Party planks. They're all the planks that we were running on in the 70s or whatever. Right. So they're getting their messaging in through the big parties. And if you want to say like libertarianism or liberty is a right wing thing and they're going in through the Republican side of things, like that's kind of one of the victories that New Hampshire will tout, right? The Liberty people in New Hampshire as well. The Libertarians aren't winning elections in New Hampshire, but look at how many Liberty Republicans we have who are, marching forward the ideals that we already have. We're sneaking in the back door.
And it's like, I think that the party line guys on both sides do fear that. Like the article we started reading at the beginning, I'm not sure if you were listening at that time. It says that the small band of socialists is sowing panic in the Democratic Party, and it's the same way in New Hampshire with the Republicans. It's like the most like party line milquetoast Republicans. They are not like happy about the fact that libertarians are infiltrating. It's not really like giving them power just because somebody has an R next to their name, in my opinion.
Right. So if you're like the ideals of socialism or you like the ideals of liberty, right? Why would you have a problem with these with being a funnel system to the major parties if that's the only way you're going to get your ideals into the mainstream?
Yeah, I guess the trouble would be being able to successfully pull, one of the major parties towards liberty rather than getting the movement pulled in the direction of one of them.
Yeah, except that both parties right now are, as the first article said, and as we're saying the example here in New Hampshire, that's not what's actually happening. So if you want, if you're testing your theory out, the two major parties are having problems with the infiltration, not the infiltrators getting usurped by the party as it stands currently.
Hey, well, I'm glad for you guys' success up there.
What's keeping you in
We don't have
Connecticut?
any Republicans worth voting for down here, and I wouldn't vote for a Democrat. So
What's
it's kinda
keeping you in
tough
Connecticut?
that Connecticut doesn't have a lot of libertarian candidates. But on that, I gotta go.
All right.
Thank you for the call. Thanks so much.
Way to
603.
duck the question there, Parker.
Maybe he just had to go. 603-283-6160 is the phone
Sometimes
number.
people just have to go, dude.
We will be having Mark on the line at 8 o'clock, by the way.
Okay.
He has passed. I'll let him say, if he wants to say why he was late, he can say why he was late. But I think we should read a little more, just because it's totally on topic now. I'm not sure that he even heard this part whenever he called in about a fusion tickets.
Read the part where it says consternation.
Yeah. So it is from the Wall Street Journal, this article. A small band of socialists is sowing panic in the Democratic Party. And it talks about some women that are running. It says Megan Romer likes to spend her free time sewing costumes for school plays, like furry tales. No, I'm just kidding. Picking.
It's for a school play. They're not having furries in a school play.
I'm just imagining what a socialist does. But anyways.
It's like a little green hat for Robin Hood or whatever.
Picking blackberries in her backyard and in rural Cayuga County, New York, and watching her partner play the fiddle in folk bands.
Okay,
her
that's
furry
kinda
partner.
cool.
No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding. I'm
Jesus.
joking. Okay, in her day job, she seeks to overthrow capitalism. Yep.
Good luck with that.
42 years old, school plays. Romer, 42 years old, is the national co-chairwoman of the Democratic Socialists of America, which, by the way, these are less far right than Sarah. I forgot. I accidentally called Sarah a socialist, and I forgot she's a communist.
Okay. Yeah.
They're all the same thing to me.
Different branch of the same tree.
Yep.
Yeah. So the far-left organization whose candidates have swept to victory in several recent high-profile races by preying on Democratic incumbents. See, that even that language is like preying on the incumbents. It's like, no, they just won with a D next to their name. And they have the ideas that people want.
But I guess the problem is the primarying, right? Like the Democrats have an incumbent. They're running that. They want to like put their focus on getting that candidate to beat the Republican.
That's all democracy.
I get it. But again, we'll go back to the presidential
party
election.
plays really dirty, though. And
The Democrats
I'm
kind
sure,
of particularly.
I'm sure they play dirty, too, just because they're the dirtiest of the bunch. But, their dirtiness is highlighted by the fact that they're a socialist and they think everyone deserves a free health care and things like that. But, they always play dirty because they want to be the top dogs and they don't believe in equity at all.
Okay. But it's still like there's a time to play dirty and there's a time to acquiesce.
Maybe
Right.
if your candidate's going to lose if the Democratic Socialist wins, but if the Democratic Socialist win or beats you in the primary, maybe they're just the candidate that's going to beat the Republican.
Well, no, that's the problem. That's the problem that the Democrats are going to have, right? Like again, I'll take this to the presidential level. When the incumbent president is running for re-election, they don't really have a primary. And if they do, it's very small and they get blown out of the water because that's not the time. The time is to put all your energy into the re-election so you don't let the other party take over. If you're if you're running as a Democrat, as an incumbent in one of these states, right, you're like, we need to put all our focus into beating the Republican, and then you get primaried by a socialist who wins, the socialist is not going to win the middle. Right, they're like, the extreme right's always going to vote for the Republican, the extreme left always going to vote for the Democrat, and you're fighting over the middle, who's going to be the tie-breaking vote, basically. And if you're an extreme socialist, you're not going to get the middle, and the Republicans are going to win. So rather than keeping power as a Democratic incumbent, you're transferring power over to your enemy, the Republicans.
Yeah,
you know.
if the Democratic Socialists can't win, I'm not sure that it's the case. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's the thing, they're winning.
no,
they're-
they might win. You're saying they might win the
They'll win the primary,
and
yeah.
then not win the against Republicans.
That's the fear.
But maybe they will.
Maybe, but
Because I feel like people aren't angry about that word anymore.
Socialist?
Yeah, because there's like Mamdani and people being like, yeah, actually everything is expensive. Maybe we should get everything for free, like even more so than ever.
Well, we talked a little bit about that last week.
Mhm.
Right? Like that's the fear amongst the youths. But I don't think you're going to get the middle-aged, the boomer generation who's still voting. Right? You're not going to move them into socialism because capitalism has done so well for them.
It depends on the boomer voters, though. If they've been Democrats all their lives and pimping socialism all their lives, then yeah, they might move towards socialism more.
Yeah, and I disagree, only because capitalism has been good for them, right? So if you're coming and saying like, yes, you might be a Democrat, but we're going to tax you, and the Republicans are going like, well, if they're going to tax you, just come over here and maintain the wealth that you've generated and created because you've got a head start on this.
Are we only like 2 years into Trump's second term? Why does it feel like I keep thinking, you know why? Because midterms. I keep thinking that it's time to vote again
It
this
is.
year,
It's always
but-
time to vote.
But not for president.
This is the most important election of your life, Bonnie. How
His
can you not
midterms.
be paying attention to this?
Yeah, I bet there are people that say that about midterms. You know what?
Oh, they do.
I don't really pay attention
Well,
as much.
they're going to say it this time because of how important it is to keep the Democrats out in order to keep Trump in power.
And they're going to
Yeah, but
use
that's not gonna
all the
happen.
fear mongering in the books they can do.
I really doubt that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure the Democrats will just win a lot.
And the fear of that for the Republicans and Trump is they're going to go on the impeachment rampage again.
Yep. I've
and
been
try to
hearing
get
that
him
too.
out. Yeah.
Yep, I've been definitely hearing about that, and they've impeached him before and nothing happened. But anyways, maybe they can actually impeach him and then actually get him out like this time if they win the all of Congress.
Yeah, they got
majority.
Yeah, they would have to win both House and Senate because one, again, I don't remember. Help me. But one of them does the impeachment and the other one does the trial.
Yeah, I don't remember which is which, so I
I
can't
think
help.
the Senate does the impeachment.
Mark has
then
said it before, so he knows.
Yeah,
but he's not on
okay,
it.
fine. The Senate does the impeachment. The House does the trial. So if the Democrats win the Senate, they can impeach him. If the Republicans have the House, the impeachment goes nowhere.
Yeah.
If the Democrats take the House and the Senate, then they can impeach him and try him for whatever crimes they're impeaching him for.
If they impeach him, does that mean that J.D. Vance is president?
No, they got to try him first.
No. If they impeach him and try him, sorry, I meant to say.
Yeah, if they impeach him and they find him guilty and remove him from office, then J.D. Vance becomes the president.
That would be so crazy. That would be really, really weird. Wouldn't that be like the youngest president? He seems really young with his
I don't know how old he
eyeliner
is.
and such.
Yeah. He would definitely. Well, Barack Obama wasn't that old when
Yeah,
he
that's
first
true.
became president.
Wasn't he the youngest at the time?
Might have been. I don't know.
And even if he was the youngest at the time, he'd remain the youngest because it's just been Biden and Trump since then. J.D. Vance's age is, he's born 1984. So
Okay.
what is that, 42?
Sure.
Yeah, 42.
Oh, his birthday's today. That's weird.
Happy birthday, J.D. Vance.
Oh my, okay, happy birthday,
He is
J.D.
2
Vance.
years older than me. That's wild.
Yeah, I knew he was young. I wasn't sure he was that young, honestly.
He
But
just had a baby.
yeah, he has like 4 kids. And his wife would probably be bumped up to one of the prettiest first ladies.
Okay.
If not like the prettiest. I actually was seeing a documentary. Why do I keep bringing this up?
I mean,
again?
Melania was in Playboy.
I think Melania is probably the prettiest, but the thing is, like, her at her current age, maybe not. Like,
That's fair.
Her in
as
her 20s.
as the first lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly, because Jackie Kennedy, I saw videos of her in a biography the other day, and I was like, she actually was like so beautiful. It's like she kind of had a strange face for photos,
All right.
really far apart eyes and stuff. But if Yusha was, I think she'd be bumped up to like maybe number 2.
All right.
But anyways, I don't know why that keeps being the topic tonight. Like, who's the prettiest politician? Ian would be like, oh, that's disgusting.
He would be.
Because that's what people vote on. Like,
Oh, yeah.
again,
True.
you have to be presentable, and then people will listen to your ideas.
I actually really think that Mom Donnie's wife was kind of part of that because she's kind of like a low-key influencer.
Okay.
And she's pretty.
Yeah. If you're not, we talked about it a little bit, and it was a big deal at the time, right? The whole dress code for the Libertarian Party, right? No one's going to take you seriously if you show up like campaigning in a fairy tutu and a foxtail.
Who
right?
are you referring to? No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever her name is, or their name is, or his name, I don't care. Right? But like the point is, people don't take you seriously. But if you couch those ideas in a suit and tie, right, then at least you get your foot in the door, and people go like, well, it seems like an expert because he looks good.
Yeah, Matt Santanastasso is always saying he really wishes that the Liberty Reps would dress nicer in the State
They'd get
House.
further.
Yeah.
They would absolutely get further. It's you can say it's unfortunate, but it's part of human nature, man.
I've noticed, like, and it's part, I am part of this. What I'm talking about, I'm part of it. It's like, it's like the part of, the way that your brain operates in order to get you to become a libertarian often means you're not good at a lot of things that get people ahead in life. And that just sucks. Like, I genuinely think I'm one of those things. I don't want to be, like, cutthroat. I don't want to be, like, I don't know. But then there's another type of libertarian that does want to be cutthroat and is really good at, like, business. And that's great and everything. It's just, like, I feel like there's no in between. And even if you do want to be cutthroat and you're good at business, you usually don't want to be, you want to be your own boss. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Like, I feel like Ian is kind of that. Well, cutthroat's not the word, but he's, like, you know, savvy and everything. He's not just sitting around doing nothing with his life, but he's also like
he's reading the Wall Street Journal.
He's just like, he couldn't possibly just go be like, I'm gonna climb to the top, the corporate ladder in McDonald's. Like, he wouldn't do that. I feel like I quote unquote couldn't do that. It's like every time I say something like that, I feel spoiled, as if like I couldn't do that if my life depended on it. Of course, if my life depended on it, I would try. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to put anybody down who can do that, because it actually seems like it's a detriment to a lot of like libertarian type people who just like are like, no, I'm just gonna do my activism and like continue to get poorer and poorer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, libertarians are poor.
Yeah. Anyways, kind of a
That's why they become
tangent.
anti-government, because they think it's going to save them.
I wonder if the socialists have these kind of like internal conversations among themselves, like, we need them to stop wearing the tail on the debate stage. I know I'm just putting this on them, but that's how I think of like somebody who like
I don't know if
voluntarily
that's
call himself
yeah.
that.
That seems like definitely a Democratic thing. I don't know if the socialists are the furries a socialist sect?
I guess I just think of socialists as like Democrat times 3 at least, or 2 or something. Okay. So let's get back into the conversation about the socialists, which Sarah's even worse. Always remember that, listener. Sarah's even worse than whatever we hear here. So Megan Romer is this 42-year-old woman who's the national co-chairwoman of the Democratic Socialists of America. So you were right about the A. The far-left organization whose candidates have swept to victory in several recent high-profile races by preying on Democratic incumbents. The next showdown comes next Tuesday, when congressional primaries in Missouri and Michigan again pit Democratic Socialists against incumbent Democrats. This is what we've been building toward, Romer said. We see the excitement growing. We see the people on the street being more and more tired of the status quo and being ready for a change. She doesn't look like a furry type woman. She looks like a pretty, actually pretty put together lady that like maybe would be like a teacher, like an art teacher or something like that. Okay. Already the DSA's advances are stirring consternation and sometimes panic among mainstream Democrats strutting their own Tea Party movement, in which a radical fringe hijacks the party and taints their brand, just as they are trying to appeal to swing voters and win control of Congress in November's midterms. I feel like the word socialist could taint your brand, and like I'm like open to that possibility, but I kind of think that like it's been watered down enough that people are not that mad about the word anymore. Obviously, Republicans are mad about the word, but that's not really a swing voter. Like,
well, that's the question. How do the swing voters feel about the word? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you can win the primary.
Bernie Sanders didn't do that bad, you know, and he was a Democratic Socialist.
Yeah, Vermont's a weird place.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, there's a reason it's been only Bernie in that, you know, as a senator. And he's the one. He's the one out socialist that could win an election. And it's just because, you know, Vermont's a weird place.
It is. It's a weird place.
And it's our next door neighbor.
Yep.
Home of Birkenstocks and granola.
They made Birkenstocks?
I don't know. I feel like those are the people that wear the Birkenstocks.
I feel like you're right. So just this month, the DSA called for defunding the Defense Department, abolishing police, and getting rid of the Senate. That all sounds
Sold.
so nice. Yeah, I'm a socialist. No, just kidding.
Libertarians ought to team up with these folks.
Yeah.
Except we wouldn't get along on economics.
Not at all. They want to destroy capitalism.
Yeah.
Take victories where you can.
So they also want to replace the president and Supreme Court with representatives chosen by and subordinate to Congress. Huh, never heard of that.
Well, that's dumb.
Why? I'm not saying I'm for it or against it, just why do you think it's dumb?
Well, because the goal, the point of the way the Supreme Court operates is they're a separate branch of the government.
And should be there to interpret the law.
Yeah.
Well, and they're tenured so that they don't have to worry about being replaced, at the whims of the president or Congress.
Yeah.
But if they're appointed, there's checks and balances. If they're appointed by Congress, then their position is kind of beholden to Congress.
Yeah, and even said subordinate to. That's
you're
right. That is stupid.
That's dumb.
It's stupid. They would just be making
Like, I'm not saying you get a lot of justice out of the Supreme Court, but the theory's sound.
Mm-hmm.
Separate them, make sure that one can't influence the other, and then let them fight amongst themselves.
That's definitely true. I could almost even get behind chosen by, as long as they were still all the other things, not subordinate to. I'm not even saying that's better. I don't see why that'd be better.
That's why, the president, nominates candidate, the Senate or House or whatever, the Congress approves the candidate, and then that's it, right?
Who votes them in or decides?
Congress.
Congress. Oh.
Right, they got to go through a hearing and get through it. I don't remember which House or Senate. I'm not that, but they get through the hearing, and then they operate independently. So everyone going well, it's a Trump Supreme Court. Well, it doesn't have to be. They can go against Trump, and there's nothing Trump can do except wag his finger and go oh, they're not doing what I want them to do, and which they have done, and that's the whole point. Right, all of his ire towards the judicial branch is because they're not beholden to it.
Yeah.
And he gets mad when they don't do what he wants, but that's the whole point. They don't have to. They can judge him. They can judge what he's doing to be illegal, right, or against the Constitution, and that's
that's
their
a good
role.
point. Then they would never be, if they were subordinate to the Congress, they would never make any judgments that made Congress members look bad.
Right.
That's so stupid.
If they're beholden to the president, they would never say the president's wrong, because then the president just removes them, and they can't do that. Once you're in, which is why they got to wait for them to retire or die.
This lady, Jamie Metzel, veteran of the Clinton National Security Council and State Department, one of the more establishment Democrats, is sounding the alarm lately, saying the DSA poses a fundamental threat to the Democratic Party and to the nation as a whole. Based on their own platform, they're working to undermine our society, our economy, and our form of government, including our Constitution. Wow, that's so shocking. More Free Talk Live coming up. These internal fights are interesting. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Some of you have wanted to support Free Talk Live's mission on a monthly basis, but don't want to support Patreon. Now we have an alternative that also helps our premier streaming platform, Odyssey. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click join at the top of the channel. You can subscribe for $5 per month, and unlike other subscription services, Odyssey adds their processing fee on top, so it'll cost a little over $5 per month, but Free Talk Live will receive the entire amount you pledged. Higher donation tiers are available if you're feeling so inspired. You'll get a special membership badge that's visible in the Odyssey chat room, and if we get enough supporters, we may enable members-only chat. This new subscription method is a great way to decentralize our direct listener support away from just Patreon and also support a libertarian-run business, Odyssey. Please visit video.freetalklive.com and click join to subscribe to our Odyssey channel and help support spreading our message around the planet. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click join today. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm James Goodison. US President Donald Trump says Israel is very happy with the Hamas disarmament deal brokered by his Board of Peace, but a senior Israeli official has told reporters and local media that Israel doesn't accept the proposal and will not carry out any withdrawals from Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has yet to comment publicly on the agreement, which was announced on Thursday night and would require Hamas to surrender its weapons in phases while Israeli forces pull back from the territory. The deal stipulates that a detailed disarmament roadmap must be finalised within 14 days. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
He said, in response to various reports about political progress in Gaza, Israel has reiterated that there will be no IDF withdrawal from the current yellow line without genuine disarmament of Hamas. Now, that suggests that for the Israeli government, any kind of withdrawal, including to the original lines of October, will be predicated on serious and significant disarmament from Hamas. Now, another implication of this plan for the Israeli military will be on their ability to strike in Gaza. A Board of Peace member speaking to the media said that those strikes would need to be limited to immediate threats.
Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has visited the enclave of Ceuta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours, with at least 18 people killed. Sanchez confirmed the mass crossing as an attack on Spain's territorial integrity, but stopped short of blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over both Ceuta and Melilla. France has announced it's reinforcing controls along its border with Spain, while Italy has called for Spain to be suspended from Europe's open borders Schengen zone. Ross Cullen reports from Bordeaux.
Juan Jesus Vivas, who is the president of the Spanish semi-enclave, said on Friday that the situation that Ceuta is going through is absolutely unsustainable after 60,000 migrants crossed the border with Morocco into the Spanish city located on the North African coast. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the breach of the border during a visit to Ceuta, saying that the arrival of thousands of migrants was an attack on Spain's territorial integrity. But he stopped short from blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over Ceuta and Melilla, another Spanish semi-enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast.
And US markets are swinging on Friday as the 10-year Treasury yield climbs to 4.73%, its highest in over a year. And a massive global chip rally triggered by big tech earnings sends South Korea's Kospi index up 18%. On Wall Street, Amazon and Apple have delivered starkly contrasting results. Amazon's stock has jumped roughly 15% on blowout cloud earnings, while Apple shares have dropped around 10% after the iPhone maker issued disappointing guidance, blaming supply constraints on chips and memory. The Apple earnings call was the last for outgoing Chief Executive Tim Cook before John Turnus takes over in September.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, hearing one more time today from Nate Swanson, the fired US government official who was part of the US negotiating team dealing with Iran before President Trump showed him the door after Mr. Swanson wrote an article predicting the Iranian regime would not capitulate to US force and would instead exploit its control over the Strait of Hormuz. Where does he think the conflict is going now?
I've heard from really a number of people say, well, we just need to then double down on the military option. The only thing that would actually lead to a regime change or a significant change in Iran's approach is basically, a massive ground campaign. I mean, I think that would be a disaster, and I would advocate against that. But if you're being honest with yourself, I don't see how these half campaigns where, we do these aerial campaigns, we think it'll change Iran's calculus. It hasn't. And I think ultimately time is kind of on their side. It's basically a race to see who is willing to endure more for a longer period. And I just, from an American perspective, don't see how we think it's in our interest to sacrifice American lives, sacrifice our economy for real, no clear strategic upside.
He spoke to Foreign Policy magazine, his thoughts there at the end of a week of more tit-for-tat military reprisals and no indication that diplomatic negotiations are getting anywhere. Polling now shows American voters overwhelmingly think the Iran conflict has not been worth fighting. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
Time for your headlines. Hamas has confirmed it will be disarming under a deal announced by US President Donald Trump, but says the surrender of heavy weapons is contingent on the creation of a Palestinian state. Spain's Prime Minister has visited the enclave of Quetta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours. And US markets are swinging on Friday as the 10-year Treasury yield climbs to 4.73%, its highest in over a year. And that's the latest from Feature Story News. I'm James Good.
This year's Coachella Music Festival is happening right now. And that means one thing: the largest gathering of contact jugglers in the world. All the biggest names from the sea juggling scene are performing all over the festival, including Mr. Tomorrow, Isis, White Angel, Chad Brunstein, and of course, the legendary Conundrum. Our own Lena Perez is live at Coachella.
This music festival is a who's who of org masters and jugglement.
What have the highlights been so far?
Well, Yasu Kaitu did his first stateside performance in 3 years over by the Smoothie Tent, which was amazing. And there was festival favorite Hans Hansman freestyling in his usual spot near the portable toilets. But I'm really excited for Becca Flannery Miller. She's 4'5", wears transition lenses, and is a master of the multi-ball.
I love her. And I heard there was a surprise late night set from the Winterhorn brothers.
Yeah, right outside the DJ tent. It was an unbelievable flurry of spheresmanship.
I wish I was there.
This is the Onion News Network.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
O'Reilly O'Bill.
Rich.
And Mark Edge, remotely.
Welcome back, Mark, onto the show.
Sorry for being late, but I gotta say, I'm not sad about it at all.
Yeah.
I was visiting my mom, and we stopped off at an Amish church, and they were singing hymns, and so we just sang for like an hour, and it was really great.
Nice. Was it English?
Yes. It was all hymns that I was familiar with.
Do Amish in Florida just speak English?
Yeah, I don't know if they speak. I haven't heard any of them speak any of their Pennsylvania Dutch, as they call it.
Interesting. Maybe they mostly just speak that together. Maybe it's like
English with a Dutch accent.
It may be something that's kind of phased out too. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. That's interesting. Well,
were the Amish in Florida shunning electricity like the Amish in Pennsylvania and this part of the world?
No.
Okay.
It's really just the short answer to that.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, they may. Yeah, they're pretty much. They just go under the. They all go under the title of Mennonite, which is somewhat true.
Yeah.
Every Amish is Mennonite. Not every Mennonite is Amish.
Every 50 years, they move the goalposts for technology.
Right. Kind of like that.
That makes sense, actually.
I don't know if that's
just
true.
No AI.
I don't. Yeah. Well, that would be the current technology that they would be shunning.
Wonder
Right. But like
what
electricity's been around long enough. You can have that now.
The other day, my siblings and I were playing Amish Paradise, so we were singing our personal homeschool kids' hymns.
Nice.
By listening to that, and then we were listening to White Nerdy. So, anyways, Mark,
suits you.
In the last segment, in the segment before, we were talking about these Democratic Socialists who basically, it's funny and interesting to me because these Democratic Socialists want to get elected, so they're just running as Democrats, and the Democrats are mad at them, and it sounds just like, to me, the Liberty Republicans in New Hampshire.
You know, there's a lot of parallels now that you mention it. I see it. Absolutely. But I don't know. Like, I think the Democrats are almost powerless. They're as powerless as the Republicans would be to do anything about it in New Hampshire. So I'm not trying to goad the Republicans. I voted Republican. I was part of the Republican Liberty Caucus. I don't hate Republicans or anything like that. But certainly not everybody in the party agrees on everything. And the favorite thing to do is to call somebody a rhino who disagrees with you on the smallest minutia. But the reality is that there's probably 24 pissed off Republicans in the state of New Hampshire that could do anything about it, and they can't do anything effectual. And then there may be a bunch more that would be like, "Oh, that stinks," and then they'll just continue to vote Republican because what else do they do? And that's really what it comes
Swap
down to.
parties.
Republicans everywhere in America
Cross the line.
They could definitely
To where?
To the Democrats so that they don't move further left.
Like Riley?
They could do that, but they won't.
Okay.
I don't know if that'd be as effective because it's just like the Democrats are so far from like a Liberty Republican who likes guns and such.
Well, that's what it's saying. So as the Liberty Republicans infiltrate the Republican Party, the Republicans move to the Democratic Party, right? They abandon the Republican Party proper to the liberty-minded individuals. But if they can successfully move left, they'll move the left closer to the middle, right? And further away from the extreme socialists.
Yeah, the thing that was said in this article from the Wall Street Journal, a band of small socialists is scaring the Democratic Party. They said they don't want to have their own Tea Party, basically.
As if that was a bad thing.
It sounds like they don't want to fracture the party because they want to have a solid block of people to go against the Republicans because the Republicans terrify them.
Right, and this is all the same problem that Republicans have. This is why we have coalitions within these major parties. And in New Hampshire, our coalition has the strong suit, but in other places, not as much. But you'll find many people like me who they sit there and they think, "Oh God, the Republicans have just betrayed me over and over again." But well, I'll try it. And then you vote Republican, or you vote for the Libertarian. It's like, well, the Libertarians haven't betrayed me because they've never won, and so you vote for the Libertarian, and then you kind of start doing the math, and you're like, why am I doing any of this? Why am I voting at all? And
just sit it
I
out.
don't think most people. Go ahead, Richie. I know you and I love to battle this one out.
No, that was it. I was saying, like, the extension of your point is just sit it out, give up entirely, and don't vote.
People love to vote because it gives them a sense of control of the outcome of their country, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Mark's condition here, they're getting frustrated by the whole process because they're feeling like their voice isn't heard.
I know, and that's
Just
the
give
frustration
up.
with everybody. So like maybe we should all just give up voting and see what happens.
I think that the solution is that there is no solution, right? And that there's nothing that you can do as a voter, especially on a statewide level. I mean, one of the tiniest states in the nation, New Hampshire, my vote is completely pointless. So
I'm glad you're coming around.
Well, you and I disagree. You think that voting perpetuates the problem. I think that voting or not voting is basically the same thing, which is useless.
At one point, you said your position was New Hampshire was small enough that one vote can make a difference and therefore is worth voting.
No. Please allow me.
Okay.
The towns and districts within New Hampshire are small enough that one vote can make a difference. So if you're talking about voting on a town level or voting for a House of Representatives or something like this, I'll tell you, since the statute of limitations is probably out on this one. At one point, I traded my wife all of her votes from the state Senate on down. for all of my votes from the governorship on up.
She
So-
told you what to vote on the
Yes.
governor. That's a really good idea. That's good.
I voted
That's good
for
trade
Barack
on you.
Obama twice.
Oh wow.
That's funny.
I would make that. I
Go
would
back
make
and
that
look.
honestly.
Barack Obama did not win New Hampshire by 2 votes. So
Fraudulent
and I-
elections and election interference right here on Free Talk Live. From
I
Mark.
know, right? Mark admitted to it.
Yeah,
Lock him up.
I would take that same position as you. I would take somebody's local votes for my presidential vote. It's completely
Right.
pointless.
And I doubt very seriously that in that particular instance that my votes mattered at all in those instances. However, I will say that when I went to town meeting
You got a sticker?
twice, no, I have a sticker now for going to visit my mom. Where is it?
Oh, I didn't see it.
From the nursing home. But at the town level, I have voted in the town meeting and actually had my vote matter twice. One time I voted and I made the difference. And the other time I had to sit out because I had a meeting to make in Florida, and it passed by 1 vote. Same thing.
All right.
Basically.
So two things. I take it back. You were not coming around. And second thing, if I believe you that all that is true, and if it is true, what would compel your wife to make that trade, knowing she's given up valuable votes for valueless votes?
I told her literally, and I think it's just the thing that makes people vote. It's the people vote because they want to participate. They want to have a civic participation.
It's their civic duty, as my parents would like to say.
What's that?
My parents would say it's their civic duty.
I don't know that you have a duty, but we'll call it a certain level of joy that one gets, fulfillment that one gets from civic participation in order to do it, and that's fine.
I've never felt that joy.
Yeah, I think you're highly analytical, and there's really no, other than getting a sticker and maybe a cookie and a glass of punch, there's really no particular reason to go to vote if you're looking at it from a mathematical standpoint. And I'll back that up for the people that are like, "What? That's crazy." I will make you a super voter. I will, throughout time, you can pick any election in the history of the United States, and I will give you not 1 vote, but 50 of them. And you can go to any state, because there's no such thing as a national election. Sorry, Donald. You can go to any state and cast your vote in any presidential election from now until the inception of the United States, 1789, I think is when the Constitution was sworn in. And your 50 votes will not make a difference in 1 single election.
Okay.
So there's really no particular point if you can't pick what state you're going to vote in, and you can't pick what year you're going to vote in. You can sort of. I mean, we're all traveling in time, 1 minute by 1 minute. So the next election I can vote in for president is 2030, I guess, and I can choose to vote, but it's very likely that New Hampshire will, although it has been the closest state for a couple of terms running, if my facts are straight, it's still not going to be decided by 1 vote or 10 votes for that matter.
Or 50. Yeah. All right.
Well, I think that I'm going to have a lot of fun voting for Riley if he wins his primary.
What's he running for?
I'm running for a state representative on the Democratic ticket.
Awesome.
So
are the Democrats coming after you? Don't vote for this blind guy.
Not yet. I haven't heard anything.
No. Give me your tagline. Have you heard his tagline?
Vision you can trust. I personally really like it.
Yep.
Oh, we should put a picture of your sign on the Free Talk Live Twitter. I'll do that after the show so that the people can see the sign. It's really good. Awesome. I was putting up Riley's sign in our yard that says "Vision You Can Trust" and has the emoji of the blind guy with his cane. And a little kid, you will think that this story is like fake or something, but a little kid was going by on his bike and he stopped, and he was like, what's that? And his mom like caught up to him with her baby stroller too.
Don't talk to those people.
No. And I just answered him. I was just like, oh, my friend is running for in the government for state rep, and he's blind. That's why it has this emoji. And he was like, that's cool. Mom, that's really cool. And his mom said, wow, like little Jimmy, I don't know the name. Wow, little Jimmy, it really goes to show you can do anything you put your mind to. And I was like, oh my God, Riley might win.
They'll let anyone with $100 run in this state.
Yeah. No. Oh, yes, what you're saying. Yeah. I thought you were being the mom. I was like, no, the mom was like really impressed.
Being the dad.
No, it's actually $2, by the way.
200?
Well,
$2.
Riley needs to get out there on
even
Central
better.
Square and hold his sign and wave to people. Nobody's going to say anything to the blind guy.
That would be a good idea, because Riley and I were like
would love
considering
to.
knocking, and I don't know that we would have the ability to really effectually knock without like, the apps and stuff that Young Americans for Liberty has. So going downtown, that might be a really good idea, or even Railroad Square. We should talk about that sometime after the show, Riley.
Let's do it.
Or on the break.
I told Riley he should busk with his bagpipes and just hang
I
his
would
political
love to do that as
and-
well.
But
That'd be
also put the
awesome.
political sign out front with the donation hat.
Yeah, do one of those where you wear your sign on both sides. I gotta learn my river dance.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to do when Riley was playing his bagpipes. I was trying to teach myself a river dance from the YouTube. I only did it the one day.
So, Richie Rich.
Yes.
Are you philosophically against voting for Riley?
I hope Riley wins. I will not be voting for Riley.
Tyrant Riley.
Well, that's because you don't live in Riley's district, right?
If Riley were in
Yeah,
my
he
district,
can't.
I still would not register to vote just to vote for Riley.
Dang.
So you're not registered. I mean, don't you get registered by like getting a driver's license or something?
No.
You presume I have a driver's license.
You also have to like go out of your way to register.
I'm delighted at the notion that you have neither a driver's license nor are registered to vote.
I don't have a New
That's good
Hampshire
point.
ID. Ironically, the only government ID I carry is my passport.
Oh, so
And-
you can fly.
Do you
And
look like
that's
a
part of
hobo
it.
in your passport too? So you are neither registered to vote nor do you have a driver's license.
What was,
And-
what was the question about the passport?
Do you look like a hobo in your passport too?
If you can see me on the camera, I think I might have tied up my beard for my passport photo, and that's about the only change. My hair's a little longer. My beard's might be at terminal beard length at this point.
I think Mark
I'm
can only
surprised they
see
even
me.
let you in the office.
I think Mark can only see me on
Okay.
the cameras.
But she has her hair pulled up on like a beard. So
Yeah, I pulled up my hair like a beard
Okay.
to pretend to be.
Well, there was no passport office. Like I got my passport done once a long time ago, and I hadn't intended on getting it done. So like, at the time I had no business getting a passport. But we've talked in the past, Mark, about like personal development courses and what you've done and what I've done. One of the courses that I took, they said you need a passport.
Huh.
And I called the office because I was going to the class in like 2 weeks, and I called the office and said like, how important is it that I get this passport? And they said, you don't really need it. So I wasn't going to get it.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine was inspired because he had paid for the course and like hadn't taken it yet. So when he found out how quickly I was turning around to go take this course, he's like, oh, I'm gonna take it too. And he also had to get his passport. And he got his passport done in like 3 days. I went,
You
well,
can do that.
yeah. And I was like, well, if you can get it done in 3 days, I'll just go ahead and get it done. And so I got it done. And so we get to the course, and they have this packet of documents and things that you need to bring with you. And on the bus, like there's a 3-hour drive from the airport to where the class is.
This is a cult.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And-
Oh man.
So on the bus, we switch packets, and everyone marks the packet, like whether your packet is complete or not. And I have a complete packet, and not everyone has a complete packet. And the first event of the course is everyone without a complete packet gets kicked out of the room, and everyone with a complete packet gets to vote whether or not those a-holes get to take the course,
Wow.
or if they get on the next bus ride 3 hours back to the airport and get sent home.
That's crazy.
So I was like, whoa, good thing I've got my completed packet and my passport done in 3 days. We voted to keep them anyway, but,
That's so crazy.
so that's a vote I did cast.
They lied to you
send
when
them
you
home.
called.
Well, yeah, I could theoretically could have gotten sent home.
Yeah.
But also when they told me that, I didn't really need the passport, I called a buddy of mine and said, hey dude, send me a picture of your passport. I'm going to make my own. And I'm like, I'm going to make, because again, the only state ID I carry is my passport. I have a free market ID card that says Richie Rich on it that has been accepted at places to buy alcohol, right? So
really? Interesting.
Right. So I just use that, ID for a lot of things. And so I was like, well, I've got my own free market ID card. I'll just make my own free market passport. And what are they going to do? So I was going to design my own passport, but then got the original one because of my buddy got it in 3 days. And then because I don't have any other form of government ID, and now I'm in New Hampshire, and I occasionally have to fly back to Hawaii for family obligations and whatnot, I renewed it. And so that the last time that with the beard and whatever was the renewal, so I didn't even have to go to the office for that.
I just got a new driver's license, and I didn't get asked anything about registering to vote. I registered to vote anyways, though, like years ago. I think it's like one and done. Like you don't have to like continuously keep registering.
No, I'm trying to get registered to vote now, but I haven't been in New Hampshire for a little while because my mom's ill. So
You probably have to go to City Hall.
what's that? Yeah, I might be able to do it remotely though.
Oh.
We'll see.
I've also never been summoned to jury duty because I'm like, there's no record of me.
That I think is the very worst part of your stance. If I may make it, is that, you don't get to participate in a jury and potentially save somebody from state overreach.
Well, what if the state is like
That is
keeping
true.
libertarians in New Hampshire, like known free staters, from being actually on juries? Because I guess I shouldn't say who because I don't know that she's like publicly said anything about it, but a big name free stater. She had a theory, and I was telling her all of the people I personally knew that fit in her pattern. When I moved here, the very next year, my parents called me and said I got a jury summons in Utah. I was like, I haven't lived there in 3 years. Like, I'm ignoring it. So I did just ignore it. I don't think I have a warrant out or anything. But anyways.
Better not visit Utah and find out.
But anyways, that I was like, wow, what are the odds? Like, I didn't live there in 3 years, and I moved to New Hampshire, and then I just get a jury summons. That sucks, because I want to be called to jury. And then that's happened to multiple of my friends. It happened to my sister and her boyfriend. And then there was this one year where, like, every libertarian we knew around Keene, basically, like, tons of them, it was, like, also the first year that I moved here, got a jury summons. And so they all, like, obviously wanted to go and didn't
They got
take it on.
excited. Like, we're going to go save this drug smoker.
And then Ian and nobody got jury summons, and then they got another letter, or maybe they got a call saying, never mind, don't come.
Okay.
Like, that is all weird stuff, right?
I've never had jury duty or a jury summons.
And I get Mark's point, right? It's kind of a downer, but at the same time, I don't want to, as much as I can stay out of the system, I don't want to put myself into that system, even if it could do some good, because the good that I could do is still outweighed, in my opinion, because I'm selfish, by the bad of enslaving myself by allowing myself to be summoned against my will to go do this thing under penalty of like incarceration, right?
They say that, but I mean, who really ends up doing jury duty that doesn't want to? I mean, this is such a trope from the 80s, like sitcoms. And I just, it seems like basically, if you don't want to do jury duty, you can come up with some excuse that says, grandma's sick, I got a kid at home, I have to work or I don't get paid. Any one of these things will generally get you out of jury duty. Now, not showing up itself is an obligation, pretty much.
I just Googled.
Because you were enslaved.
I Googled, has any juror in New Hampshire ever been arrested? And it says no public record or documented case shows a seated or prospective juror being arrested or contempt of court or whatever.
Yep. Okay. And in the United States, it certainly has happened at
Probably.
some point or another.
I don't even fill out the agricultural form that you're mandated to fill out by law when flying to Hawaii.
Oh.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
What do they do?
They hand it out on the plane. They go like, this is
stupid.
under federal law. You got to like fill out this form. And I just say, no, thank you, and go about my trip.
Nice. Like, that is so stupid. You told this story before, and it's like, if they hand it on the plane, you're just going to land and walk off. Like, what are they going to do?
What are they going to do? Yeah.
Well, more Free Talk Live coming up. 603-283-6160 is the phone number. to get in on the conversation with us and bring up whatever's on your mind. You can change the subject, tell us we're wrong. It's Free Talk Live. More Free Talk Live coming up, 603-283-6160.
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. In addition to being one of the world's first cryptocurrencies, Dash was the first crypto project to have a decentralized autonomous organization that to this day continues to improve and promote Dash. Every month, 10% of the mining rewards go into a treasury. Anyone with one Dash to spend can put forward a proposal to the Dash masternodes. The masternodes vet the proposals and decide which ones move forward and are funded by that treasury. Nowadays, DAOs are plentiful, but Dash paved the way by doing it first, nearly a decade ago. Dash is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies and is widely available on exchanges, including the decentralized Maya protocol, and in multi-crypto wallets. It's easy to get and use Dash. Start by learning more at dash.org. Thanks to the Dash DAO for sending us 32 Dash per month to promote Dash on the air. Visit dash.org to learn about Dash. Dash.org.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has visited the enclave of Ceuta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours, with at least 18 people killed. Sanchez condemned the mass crossing as an attack on Spain's territorial integrity, but stopped short of blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over both Ceuta and Melilla. France has announced it's reinforcing controls along its border with Spain, while Italy has called for Spain to be suspended from Europe's open borders Schengen zone. Ross Cullen reports from Bordeaux.
Juan Jesus Vivas, who is the president of the Spanish semi-enclave, said on Friday that the situation that Ceuta is going through is absolutely unsustainable after 60,000 migrants crossed the border with Morocco into the Spanish city located on the North African coast. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the breach of the border during a visit to Ceuta, saying that the arrival of thousands of migrants was an attack on Spain's territorial integrity. But he stopped short from blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over Ceuta and Melilla, another Spanish semi-enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast.
Several Palestinians were wounded in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza Friday, just hours after US President Donald Trump announced a deal for the complete disarmament of Hamas. A deal the Israeli government says it can't accept. The agreement signed in Egypt would require Israel to pull back from territory it seized in Gaza, beyond the positions it held when the ceasefire took effect. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's defense minister has repeatedly said Israel will remain in Gaza permanently. From Tel Aviv, Blake Sifton reports.
The Israeli military has recently been carrying out strikes several times per week in Gaza, aimed at targeting members of Hamas they say were involved in the October 7th attacks. We should remember that at least 1,168 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes in Gaza since the ceasefire came into effect. And just a little while ago, there were reports of further airstrikes in Gaza. So the ball really now is in Israel's court about whether or not to accept this proposal. Prime Minister Netanyahu is under extraordinary pressure not to withdraw from Gaza.
Costa Rica's Rebecca Grinspans emerged as the frontrunner in the first informal straw poll to choose the next United Nations Secretary-General, winning 10 votes of encouragement from the 15 members of the Security Council. 7 candidates, 4 women, 3 men, are vying to succeed Antonio Guterres, whose second 5-year term expires at the end of December. The Security Council did not officially release the results, and paper ballots were destroyed after counting. And the Asian Football Confederation has joined counterparts in the Americas and Europe to oppose a move to sell off minority stakes in FIFA. Football's governing bodies propose creating a subsidiary through third parties that could have a role in organising major tournaments, including the World Cup. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160 is the phone number to call to bring up whatever is on your mind. That's the point of Free Talk Live. You can change the subject, tell us what is on your mind. If you have any tips and tricks on how to become a juror, that's kind of like what we were talking about in the last segment. Not tips and tricks, because there aren't any, especially if they're out to get you and they're trying to keep you from being able to be a juror. Anyways, with you on Free Talk Live, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
Richie Rich.
And Mark Edge, remotely.
And if you're tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites, our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, and Linux. Social.freetalklive.com. And at the beginning of the show, we were talking about socialists, but we do have other things to talk about here. I was surprised that, I was sad that I didn't say it to Dave Ridley. I was like, maybe he's heard of this. It's kind of an interesting secession type story in a way. Maybe it's not secession, but it's like starting your own little government, and I thought Mark would be interested in it too. From the Wall Street Journal, a tech founder wanted to start a new country. An actual country got in the way. Tales old time.
Sounds about right, yeah.
It says
I'll bet.
Balaji Srinivasan left Silicon Valley and created an incubator for new countries in a Asian ghost city before the government shut it down. I'm not sure.
Oh, man. That's unfortunate, because one of the things that I proposed a long time ago was like occupy Ghost Town. Just take it over, make it operational, and get it fortified before the local government takes notice.
Yeah, at first I was like, in China? Why would you even try that? But it's not China. It is in Malaysia. So they have ghost towns too. So tech founder, and I'm just going to call him
Gucci.
Balaji.
Okay.
That's his first name. Yeah. Balaji says he believes America is descending into anarchy. One could only wish.
I wish it was anarchy. That'd be more interesting. Now it's just authoritarian statism.
Mark disagrees.
I don't think it's anarchy at all.
His solution... I don't think it is either. His solution was to build a new country from scratch. Man, this is a man of solutions. Just kidding, but...
Well, I mean, all you really need is to buy some land and annex it. Right?
Yeah.
If you have enough money, that's a lot easier to do.
It said he left Silicon Valley and, as a first step, tried to create a rival tech community in Asia. He set up a campus with co-working spaces, a high-end gym, and meals designed by longevity guru Brian Johnson. Oh my God.
The guy who's dying?
Yeah, he's dying of veganism. He surveyed potential residents on their views on politics and pronatalism, the high birth rate philosophy that Balaji promotes. Brian Johnson wants to live forever.
So this is a cult leader who's just trying to get more females to...
Brian Johnson's cult is called Don't Die. His whole thing is about he wants to live forever.
Yeah, he's rebranded.
As he needs to, because he's dying. Go ahead, Mark.
They're called the Immortals now.
Really? I didn't know that.
I don't know that anyone's head has been chopped off, but
at least
as
not
I
yet.
understand it, there can be only one.
Only one immortal?
Allegedly.
That's what the
Why?
movies were about.
Oh, okay.
Quickening.
I was like, is this part of his lore?
I believe that, but there's like
Why would he
7
want his
Highlanders.
girlfriend with the most perfect, whatever it is, like vaginal pH? That's what he put on his internet. I can say that on the radio, I think, because I used a doctor's
It's medical.
term. Yeah. He put on the internet that his girlfriend has the top 0.1% perfect vaginal pH or something like that. Maybe it wasn't pH, but something like that. Microbiome.
So it's not alkaline and it's not acidic?
Honestly, it probably isn't pH. I think it's more of the microbiome. I don't remember now. So anyways, he
Gotta
wants her to
taste it to
die while
find
he has to go on without that. Anyways.
It all sounds like a bunch of hooey to me, but all right.
So Balaji said on a recent podcast, Brian Johnson wants to live forever. Sam Altman wants to build a machine of superintelligence. Elon wants to go to Mars. I just want to start a new country. Pretty sure Peter Thiel beat you to that, but just saying. That's me adding that.
Did Peter Thiel start a new country?
Oh, not a country, but the seasteading.
Okay.
Well, not that
And
he
he's
started it, but
Also, an investor, as I understand it, at Prospera.
Oh, yeah,
too,
yeah.
Which is where I met Balaji and Brian Johnson.
Oh, wow, you
Really?
met them?
You met both of them?
I have.
Wow.
Was Brian
I
Johnson
get around.
like wearing a umbrella hat thing on his head?
Simping.
No, he wasn't. It was in the evening.
Oh, okay, yeah. He avoids the sun.
Okay. Put on his evening hat.
You know, he seems like if I had to spend a like evening in a room with one of them, I think he would be the least scary, believe it or not. He seems nice. I think he's
What's
wrong.
Peter Thiel going to do? Offer you $1 million for your blood? What's the big deal?
He's the Antichrist.
I don't think he's the actual Antichrist.
Because he
Look,
must be the Antichrist
You
because
don't believe anything else out of the Bible. Why do you believe that?
no, it's just that he's whatever he thinks the Antichrist is. Because why would he go so hard like against talking about it? You know what I mean? Like only the Antichrist would do that.
Would say that he's not the Antichrist?
Yeah, like make this.
I'm going to go on the
big
record to saying
conversation.
I am not the Antichrist.
Yeah, Obama never did that. Ended up not the
I didn't
Antichrist.
claim that Obama was the Antichrist.
But lots of people did. Many
Oh,
people
yeah,
did
a
at
lot
the
of
time.
people were claiming that.
Was that happening in Utah too, Riley? 2008 is happening in. where
His
I
middle
was.
name's Hussein.
I know, right? The people were more claiming that he was a Muslim rather than a Christian, though.
Oh yeah, I was hearing both. Wait, is the Antichrist supposed to be a Christian?
I have no idea.
I don't think he is. I think he's just like
He's an anti-Christian based on his name.
Well, there's also false prophets or something like
Okay.
that come up. It's not even prophets. It's like false pastor. Not even
False
pastor.
prophets and false Christs.
Hmm.
Okay.
I think
Anyways.
is the phrasing. Or
Which
false
one was
messiahs.
David Koresh?
Good
He was a
question.
false prophet.
So a Christ is a person who's supposed to save you, right? And it's just the Greek translation of Messiah. So legitimately, there could be more than one Messiah. It's not like there's only one. Now, you know, I have never heard in my life Jews talk about, oh yeah, there's a Messiah coming to save us. So I think that this is just Christian lore that's like they're waiting for the Messiah.
I think there is a Messiah coming to save the Jews. I asked Zephin and his friend because I hadn't thought about it. And weren't you there, Riley? And he said that they do believe there is one. That's why they disagree with Christianity because they don't. They believe that their Messiah that comes will be an actual king and take over the whole world. Yeah, that's what they said. They said they think it's like you know, sacrilegious or something to believe that it was Jesus because Jesus got killed. They're like, well, that couldn't be him. Yeah.
They got to put a timetable on these predictions.
I know.
So I know
true.
when I can say you're wrong.
Well, Jesus did. He said that the generations won't pass away before these things happen.
No, he said this generation will not pass
Yeah,
before these
thank
things
you.
happen.
Well,
Who
then it's
said
already
that?
too late.
Jesus.
It's
Yeah.
over. It's done. That
Exactly.
generation has
That's
passed.
why I think, you know, that the preterists make some sense in this. These are the people that believe that Jesus has already fulfilled whatever these predictions were within the Bible. And then they have a list of how that happened and that we are living in some time that is, you know, that the prophecies really don't affect us in the same way.
The prophecy has already been fulfilled.
Correct.
Okay.
And some people actually
But we
believe,
got to milk this thing with a sequel.
yeah.
So Highlander 2.
Some people believe like there was like everything, like fire raining from the ground. You know,
Fire raining from the sky.
yeah, like they believe that all of the Book of Revelation did already happen.
Okay.
I don't know if
So,
that's a preterist.
Every Sunday morning, I do a church service. And if you want to find out that church, you know, find out more about that church service, you can go to freefriends.faith and you can join the Telegram group there. And that's where I usually do it. But this morning, I didn't get to give my whole thing because I was just like, I don't want to preach to these people that already, you know, it's a small group. They already understand what I mean and, you know, that kind of thing. But I, you know, I don't believe in hell. I just can't believe that a loving and just God is going to throw me into eternal damnation because I don't believe some sweat-stained nincompoops version of, you know, what the gospel is, right? I you know, I've looked and I've studied, and I don't think you have to be able to read ancient Greek and Aramaic in order to be saved. That doesn't make any sense to me. What kind of loving father would do that?
What about really truly evil people though that are responsible for uncountable amounts of death? Don't they deserve a hell?
If we need hell for the top 1,000 most evil people who have ever lived, I'm willing to stipulate if that makes you happy. But
like
I
Dr.
don't
Fauci.
think that anybody who disagrees with me on a religious stance goes to hell.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
I really don't believe in hell for the top 1,000 most evil people either. I'm just willing to stipulate if it makes you happy.
So Hitler's
in hell. Okay.
So Mormonism does something a little different. They actually don't believe in hell necessarily. They believe in 3 degrees of glory. So telestial glory is like the lowest of the low.
Well, it sounds high up.
Wait till you hear the other two.
All right, sorry.
And then you have the terrestrial glory, which is a little higher. Then you have celestial glory, which is allegedly where God dwells. So,
What was the first celestial one? Twice?
Telestial.
Oh,
Then terrestrial.
terrestrial.
Okay.
What does celestial mean? I thought that meant in the space. And also, I
have
haven't
no idea.
I haven't been answering the phone on accident, and he already hung up because we ignored him. Sorry about that, Turd Ferguson. You're on Free Talk Live. We can talk more about what you were telling us about the rally. He's been waiting for 10
Once we get
minutes
through
now.
Turd's nonsense.
What kind of nonsense do you want to talk about?
I didn't hang up because you don't pick up the phone. I hung up because I was walking into the pizza place.
He had to go.
Okay, good.
But before the break though, I did hear something that I wholeheartedly agree with actually. But of course, it was coming from Mark Edge, whom I usually think is the most reasonable. Although I will say it is good to hear that you libertarians are finally coming around to my philosophy, which is that voting is an entirely enormous waste of time. And there's few things you can do to sort of set yourself free. None of them really involve voting at all. And I mean, obviously, the first and foremost is to free your mind. And
what's it mean to free my mind?
Be stoic. Don't let the things around you bother you, like bad governments and things like that. And the other one is to pick a place to live which is the least bad and most aligns with your values or what makes you happy, whether that be, proximity to your job or your career or whatever.
Or
and
hot teenagers.
Right. Well, sure. And then hope that the demographics don't change and then people come in and vote for things that make it worse.
Step 2, hope.
Well, I mean, if the demographic change, you just move again. Right, you've moved once.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like it's a big deal. You just move
This
again.
guy is creating his own country, and Turd's just hoping. Hope for changing that he can live in.
Well, look, I mean, you get one lap around the track, and look, if you really think that you can create your own country, then so be it. Go for it. But if you fail, you should own the fact that you failed, and if that means that your life, you spent your life trying to do something that didn't work, then you only have yourself to blame for that. You know what I'm saying?
Look, if you've got the money, I think it's absolutely worth the effort to try to own your own.
Sure. Look, I would love to buy Little St. James Island. Okay, from what I understand, somebody a lot richer than me bought.
I bet you would.
Somebody broke it in for you.
You son of a bitch. Well,
creepy.
I'm not going to say one way or the other on that, but look, I'm sure Little St. James Island's a very beautiful place. It's surrounded
I'll bet
by
it is.
water. It's got some.
I hear it's got a pretty cool altar.
Well, I'm not really into that stuff, but look, and all the man-made stuff, well, even some of the non-man-made stuff, you can strip down, take down, and replace it with whatever you want to. If it's your island,
Why, the blue and white altar thing is basically the colors of your famous bathroom.
Well, that's.
I was just going to say that he was going to turn the altar into the bathroom.
That's more like a shade of aqua, like a sea foam blue, a turquoise, if you will. Very reminiscent of beach houses on the eastern shore.
That sounds like a very appropriate color for bathroom.
Well,
yeah, I guess
Bonnie,
I got mixed that up in my head. Sorry.
Bonnie,
last time I was there.
You haven't seen my finished bathroom remodel?
Probably not because the Matrix is down.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I posted. Oh, I guess you're not in Lori's Discord, I guess.
No, I've never been to Turd's bathroom either. Just throwing that out there. He used to post pictures.
For the record. Bonnie has never stepped foot in Turd's bathroom.
I didn't say you were physically in the bathroom.
I know you didn't say that, but I said it as a joke, and now I'm taking it back.
Okay, all right. Well,
someone's going to write a story in the Wall Street Journal, and Ian's going to read it.
Don't worry, I fixed the record. The Wall Street Journal isn't.
Well, the Wall Street Journal is a very great, honorable publication. But,
reputable news source, as we've noted.
Well, I'm a little bummed out lately because I've just been working so hard. I've been like staying up real late, working, really long days, 7 days a week. Plus, working nights at the club on top of that. And, I'm actually not in as great shape as I was, say, 18 months ago. But I've been trying to change that around again. My strategy.
Does this have something to do with your bathroom?
No. It's just why I'm bummed out lately. And I probably haven't been the same old turd that's been calling in.
I'll tell you what, I got the perfect turnaround for you. And I know this is old man stuff, but it freaking works. Get up at dawn, go for a 30-minute walk.
Yeah. Well,
then maybe do a little yoga, a couple of sun salutations. If that didn't work for a first week, do some sun salutations after that. And I think you'll have the best days you've ever had.
The problem is the teenage girls aren't walking at dawn. You got to wait till like 8:30 when class is about to begin.
Well, look, I see a lot of hot teenage girls at the gym, although I don't get to go nearly as much as I did. But one of my plans, though, what I did was on my Facebook and my Instagram, I posted a picture of me with my shirt off 18 months ago so that I see it now every single time I get on social media. And it's actually been reminding me, it's like, okay, well, you got to get back in shape. Got to get that Abercrombie model body back.
That's kind of a good idea. I think if somebody if somebody's fat.
It's been working a little bit. I mean, over the last week, I think I've lost like 2 pounds just in a week, which is a pretty healthy amount.
Down to 298.
Ouch.
Sorry, what?
Down to 298. Good job.
I'm not that fat, but I'm down to like 148. But I gotta say, I mean, a year and a half ago, I was 143, and I was probably like 95% muscle or something ridiculous like that.
Are you like 5'2"? That seems really skinny.
That is really skinny.
No, I'm 5'10". But
eat a steak.
Well, I am. Last night I ate 2 filet mignons, and filet mignon's the leanest cut. It was probably about half a pound of filet, but it's only like 400 calories altogether,
right.
But you get like 50 grams of protein and just those 2 steaks.
Why not ribeye? I mean, you need that fat for your brain.
Yeah. I agree with Mark on that one.
Well, I mean, I do eat carbs during the day, although carbs are my
carbs are not
enemy
fat.
Right
There's
now.
Carbs aren't fat.
Well, food that has carbs in them usually have some fat in them too.
I'm recommending animal product fat. So I would prefer you to have like krill oil or something like that. But I'm totally down with beef tallow.
Yeah. Oh, well, me too. But I eat a lot of olive oil.
Yes,
which is pretty healthy fat.
Protein.
I've been trying to eat a lot more fish again. I love salmon, and I think 2 days ago I ate an entire pound of salmon for dinner. But yeah. Anyway. I'm doing what I think I should do, but and I'm seeing slow but steady progress. I think it's going to be a while before I'm in the shape that I was, 18 months ago, though. But
just starve yourself.
I don't think you should lose weight. Bulk up, man. If you're 5'10", put on like another 40 pounds of muscle and man up.
Well, I'm not all about the meathead look. I always like the Abercrombie model, but I always like the Calvin Klein look.
All right.
That's more down my alley.
Looks like a little girl.
Huh? Wait, what?
The Calvin Klein guys aren't thin.
Well, they're lean.
Yeah. I guess if you're trying to attract teenage girls, you might as well look like
fitness,
a teenage boy.
He's talking about Kate Moss.
Well, look, put yourself in the shoes of a 19-year-old young lady. What do you want? Do you want an Arnold Schwarzenegger, or do you want the guy that's on the bottle of the Abercrombie Fierce Cologne?
I'm just trying to figure out what kind of shoes 19-year-old girls wear. I don't know.
Really pretty ones that you want to take off and then smell their feet. You know what I mean? Those kind of.
Monty, why are you doing this to me?
Well,
all right, guys, peace out.
I was gonna say, if he doesn't have anything else important to say. Sometimes Trev will have a call like that for a long time, then all of a sudden he'll have something actually important to say. He'll be like, anyways, what I actually had to say. Not today.
He's a smart weirdo. That's for sure.
Yes.
We have a lot of that going on Free Talk Live.
I was gonna say, I feel like you hand that out a lot, Mark, but maybe just our callers, smart weirdos.
that really should just be the tagline. Free Talk Live, smart weirdos.
Smart weirdos.
That's funny. Yeah, we have lots of different things to talk about. And I was gonna start like one of Richie Rich's stories, but we didn't finish talking about the one guy. I just want to know
we were talking about heaven and hell, and I just wanted to say real quick, because I think that this is worth mentioning to everybody. A, I don't believe in hell. B, I'm not sure I believe in heaven. I like the notion that there is some great place that all of God's children can go after they die. My mom is going to die soon, and I would really love her to go into the warm embrace of God Almighty. I'm not sure about it. And here's the number one fact that bugs the crap out of me. Bonnie, I'm going to use you as my Christian foil, so answer as best you can.
Okay.
If a baby dies during a pregnancy, does it go to heaven?
Straight to hell because it didn't get baptized. Wait, you're saying I should be the...
Purgatory if you're not baptized, right? You just get lost in the nothingness.
Are you saying I should be the foil that's Christian?
You're the foil. You're coming up with the right answer to this.
Okay, I think that a baby would... if I don't necessarily have to say that I believe in Christian heaven or hell, do I? But I think a baby would not be punished for eternity. That's what I think.
That makes sense to me, too.
Yeah.
The Bible doesn't mention purgatory, and I think that was created by Christian scholars because they didn't want to send babies to hell, and they didn't know what to do with them. But I think that was to push baptism and a variety of things. Anyway,
was an agenda with those
so if
religious
babies go to Bonnie, is when the sperm meets the egg and it separates into two cells, is that a baby?
No.
Not a baby. When does a baby become a baby?
When their mother gives them life and births them.
Oh, once it passes from the vagina? This is a Christian
through
stance?
the birth canal.
I'm supposed to be Christian? I thought
He says you're the Christian foil.
That's why I said straight to hell. But anyways, okay, I guess if I'm the Christian foil, then I would say, yes, life begins at conception.
Perfect. This is why I'm not sure I believe in heaven. Okay, so here's the problem.
All
when a
zygotes
sperm
go to
meets an
heaven.
egg, about 4 times out of 5, 80% of the time, it doesn't implant and it doesn't go anywhere. Now, this may be not true today because I don't know about birth control and all these things going
yeah,
on
probably
in
just
America.
even more so, but it's still true what you're saying.
Yeah. So by and large, most births are aborted naturally. And I know we don't want to use that term, but naturally do not take place. So the babies do not come to fruition. This means that if we're talking about about 30 billion people that have lived, I think that's the number. No, it was 100 billion. 100 billion people who have lived, that means that 10 times that, 1 trillion people have been conceived. And that means heaven is 9/10 people who have never lived a real life on earth. And to me, I find that complicated. Now, I don't think that's proof heaven doesn't exist, but I think that it's proof that I would be an oddball in heaven, having lived a long life. And now when we take those things, what I believe heaven and hell are the consequences of your actions, or the outcomes of your actions. Consequences always sound so bad, but the outcomes of your actions. You live a good life. If you're doing good things, you're going to have good outcomes. If you're doing bad things, you're going to have bad outcomes. We'll call the bad things hell, and we'll call the good things heaven. Go out and make your destiny.
More Free Talk Live coming up. You can call in 603-283-6160. What do you think? Let us know what you think about heaven and hell or anything else that's on your mind. More Free Talk Live coming up 603-283-6160.
Turning to Capitol Hill, House Republicans are considering their own version of the Violence Against Women Act. The GOP hopes their new No Punch Pretty Lady bill will finally help the party appeal to female voters.
No punch, no rape. Pass law. Women give big smiles at us again. Big votes.
Among its statutes, the bill would introduce harsher penalties for putting fists to women's face and proposes that if ladies smell nice like flowers, no smash lady.
And what if Pretty Lady Al-Qaeda? What if she death panel? What if she Benghazi? Yes, in some cases, punch lady.
In addition to increasing funding to shelters for crying ladies hurt from doing sex with bad guys, the bill also includes a clause complimenting the nation's women for losing weight.
And in other headlines, Lady Gaga kidnaps Commissioner Gordon. A man who likes to move it is still searching for the perfect song. And Rod Stewart is mistaken for an elderly aunt.
This is the Onion News Network.
Eleutheromania, the insatiable desire for freedom. It's the new 3-song heavy metal EP from Captain Kickass. Available now on your favorite music app or get it directly from CaptainKickass.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm James Goodison. US President Donald Trump says Israel is very happy with the Hamas disarmament deal brokered by his Board of Peace, but a senior Israeli official has told reporters and local media that Israel doesn't accept the proposal and will not carry out any withdrawals from Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has yet to comment publicly on the agreement, which was announced on Thursday night and would require Hamas to surrender its weapons in phases while Israeli forces pull back from the territory. The deal stipulates that a detailed disarmament roadmap must be finalised within 14 days. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
He said, in response to various reports about political progress in Gaza, Israel has reiterated that there will be no IDF withdrawal from the current yellow line without genuine disarmament of Hamas. Now, that suggests that for the Israeli government, any kind of withdrawal, including to the original lines of October, will be predicated on serious and significant disarmament from Hamas. Now, another implication of this plan for the Israeli military will be on their ability to strike in Gaza. A Board of Peace member speaking to the media said that those strikes would need to be limited to immediate threats.
Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has visited the enclave of Ceuta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours, with at least 18 people killed. Sanchez confirmed the mass crossing as an attack on Spain's territorial integrity, but stopped short of blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over both Ceuta and Melilla. France has announced it's reinforcing controls along its border with Spain, while Italy has called for Spain to be suspended from Europe's open borders Schengen zone. Ross Cullen reports from Bordeaux.
Juan Jesus Vivas, who is the president of the Spanish semi-enclave, said on Friday that the situation that Ceuta is going through is absolutely unsustainable after 60,000 migrants crossed the border with Morocco into the Spanish city located on the North African coast. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the breach of the border during a visit to Ceuta, saying that the arrival of thousands of migrants was an attack on Spain's territorial integrity. But he stopped short from blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over Ceuta and Melilla, another Spanish semi-enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast.
And US markets are swinging on Friday as the 10-year Treasury yield climbs to 4.73%, its highest in over a year. And a massive global chip rally triggered by big tech earnings sends South Korea's Kospi index up 18%. On Wall Street, Amazon and Apple have delivered starkly contrasting results. Amazon stock has jumped roughly 15% on blowout cloud earnings, while Apple shares have dropped around 10% after the iPhone maker issued disappointing guidance, blaming supply constraints on on chips and memory. The Apple earnings call was the last for outgoing Chief Executive Tim Cook before John Turnus takes over in September.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, hearing one more time today from Nate Swanson, the fired US government official who was part of the US negotiating team dealing with Iran, before President Trump showed him the door after Mr. Swanson wrote an article predicting the Iranian regime would not capitulate to US force and would instead exploit its control over the Strait of Hormuz. Where does he think the conflict is going now?
I've heard from really a number of people say, well, we just need to then double down on the military option. The only thing that would actually lead to a regime change or a significant change in Iran's approach is basically, a massive ground campaign. I mean, I think that would be a disaster, and I would advocate against that. But if you're being honest with yourself, I don't see how these half campaigns where, we do these aerial campaigns, we think it'll change Iran's calculus. It hasn't. And I think ultimately time is kind of on their side. It's basically a race to see who is willing to endure more for a longer period. And I just, from an American perspective, don't see how we think it's in our interest to, sacrifice American lives, sacrifice our economy for real, no clear strategic upside.
He spoke to Foreign Policy magazine, his thoughts there at the end of a week of more tit-for-tat military reprisals and no indication that diplomatic negotiations are getting anywhere. Polling now shows American voters overwhelmingly think the Iran conflict has not been worth fighting. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
Time for your headlines. Hamas has confirmed it will be disarming under a deal announced by US President Donald Trump, but says the surrender of heavy weapons is contingent on the creation of a Palestinian state. Spain's Prime Minister has visited the enclave of Ceuta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours. And US markets are swinging on Friday as the 10-year Treasury yield climbs to 4.73%, its highest in over a year. And that's the latest from Feature Story News. I'm James Good.
Now, how much money will all those closeted Republican convention goers bring into the city, Marie?
A lot. The average area prostitute normally makes around $200 to $300 a week jerking off truck drivers behind the bus station.
I see.
Next week, they are expecting to make 30 times that amount sucking off secretly gay Republicans.
Wow.
You figure the fact that these delegates are so repressed and filled with self-hatred,
yes,
they tend to like the filthiest, kinkiest sex acts imaginable.
Oh, that's
which
right.
tends to cost more. The average well-adjusted gay man has no desire to smear fecal matter all over his partner's face or be beat up by him. But that is exactly the sort of thing that these repressed conservatives are willing to pay top dollar for.
Okay, as well as the services of transsexuals, I understand.
Yes. A lot of the Republicans repeatedly call the prostitutes faggots or start crying after they've had sex with them.
I suppose the prostitutes are shoring up on their politics so they can talk to the Republicans.
Ha ha, Andrea, what do you think this is, Pretty Woman? They're just there to get right.
Thank you, Marie Byron.
RNC's always a good time.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Welcome back to Free Talk Live. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
Richie Rich.
Sorry about that, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh, you left him hanging.
And Mark Edge remotely.
And you can call 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. That's 603-283-6160. I don't think we really got to the point with this one, but I want to know how this guy in Malaysia got his country taken away from him. I also want to know how he got it. So
let's presume it's from the Malaysian government going like, sorry, boy, you can't do that.
It says that Balaji Sriviansan left Silicon Valley and created an incubator for new countries in an Asian ghost city. But a real government took it away from him. I think it said real. Didn't it say? Oh, just the government. Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's real because they've decided they're the legitimate force, right? The illegitimate governments are just the gangs that run things around there.
Mm-hmm. Both are the gangs that run things.
Right, but one's legitimate and one's illegitimate, and the legitimate one, quote unquote,
That's
is
your
the
opinion,
real one.
man. Just kidding. The setting for this experiment was as surreal as it was grand. A hotel in a $100 billion Chinese-built luxury development in Malaysia that became a mostly empty ghost city. Well, that's even creepier that it's mostly empty, like with some people just wandering around there.
I mean, if you want to go back to the socialism debate, right? Well, like one of the beautiful things about capitalism is when they build this thing, they go like, man, there's no customers. It just fails and the company loses money.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a government run thing, there's no market set going like, this is the area that we need hotels and houses, and they build it anyway as a jobs program, and there's no demand for it in that particular area, and then it sits dormant.
Mm-hmm. That's
Because
probably
there's
what
no
happened.
market signal.
I wonder why the Chinese built it. Like, I don't really know what their relationship with Malaysia is, so it's just kind of weird. A little detail. Now, 2 years in, his vision, called the Network School, oh no, another cult, is colliding with the real world. Participants complained about moldy rooms, dead nightlife, and not enough women. That's
That would suck. That sounds like libertarians bitching. Yeah.
The complete opposite of Shrewsbury.
Checks out.
Moldy rooms, dead nightlife, and not enough women. A downside familiar to Silicon Valley. Wow. Then came an even bigger hurdle. The actual country they were living in. Malaysian authorities launched an investigation into the school's residents after an Instagram post said that the project housed citizens from Israel. Muslim majority Malaysia doesn't officially recognize that state and requires Israelis to get special permission to enter the country. They're hiding Jews in their attic.
Okay.
That's ultimately where the story goes.
I guess the irony is Malaysia's probably worried that if they let the Israelites establish a community there, they'll just continue to expand that one all the way into Malaysia as well.
Yeah, that's
by
true.
force if necessary.
Well, a Zionist personally told me that even if they were like given some land in like Russia, because apparently there was some like talk of that before where like Russia was saying they could just give them this uninhabited area. I don't know if it was Russia, the government or what. That Zionist told me it wouldn't be good enough. It has to be Israel.
Okay.
So that's kind of how they are. And
that would make sense because Israel's God's chosen land for the people.
Makes sense. I guess that's your opinion, man.
No, this land's from God, given to Russia. We give to you, Israel.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to pick the Antichrist, I'm going for FDR in this circumstance. Franklin Delano Roosevelt sent back a ship, and I think it had 5,000 Jews on it, all of which died in the concentration camps at the hands of the Nazis. If he had just accepted them, in fact, sent out an invitation to every Ashkenazi Jew that feels threatened by the Europe's occupation.
Why not the Sephardic Jews? In this case,
they weren't dealing with Nazi occupation.
They weren't there in Germany and stuff.
No.
Okay.
Almost no Sephardic Jews at that point. Basically, Ashkenazi means European Jew.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but,
it doesn't matter. Any Jews, all Jews. But Ashkenazis tend to be the ones that have been very successful. If you were to separate the Jews out into the little groups that they separate themselves into, what you'd find is the Ashkenazis seem to have all the achievements. Nonetheless, those achievements would be, by and large, in the 20th century, the Nobel Peace Prizes and all these other great discoveries and inventions, they'd be by Americans rather than by Israelis or Jews in Europe or whatever the situation might have been. And hey, wouldn't that be awesome? But no, we had to have an anti-Semite in the office, and the Democrats will still defend him, high and low.
favorite president for a lot of them. If it's not Lincoln,
it's like the Americans finally winning the math bowl. It's just a group of Chinese kids.
Oh my gosh,
right.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's true.
Well, Malaysia could have done the same thing. Malaysia could have apparently had a group of Silicon Valley Jews living there, and they said no. And then that is kind of surprising, I guess. Other than the fact
we don't know how many Jews were actually there in Malaysia. I don't believe anything the Malaysian government or any other government says, for that matter. But when they say that there was a Jew there probably was one. But that's an excuse, is what that is.
Yeah, it does say that authorities said they haven't found wrongdoing. So, but it says, but last week the local government ordered the projects to shut down over unrelated licensing issues. So they didn't find any wrongdoing with the hiding Jews. So they just got them on something else.
No, you can hide the Jew. You just have to pay the fee to the government first.
Yeah.
That's where you went wrong. You didn't give them their cut.
They probably just don't want you to hide the Jew, and they went for something else to get rid of these people, Okay. Within hours, Belangi said on social media that he had signed an agreement to open a campus in Kazakhstan. So,
in a glorious nation.
I wonder if it's going to happen. I wonder what this guy's ethnicity is, because I don't recognize anything about that name.
Balaji?
Balaji, yeah.
What's the whole
I'm
name?
not sure what his ethnicity is. This isn't the first thing I ask when I see somebody, but he's a little swarthy.
Yeah.
I interviewed him basically. He sort of sat down amongst a group of people and began to hold court, and I'm like, oh, this guy's interesting. And so I began to ask him questions. And so there's a video out there of me basically interviewing Balaji. And he is a brilliant man. There's no doubt about it. Whatever that autism is, it really kicked in this interview. And it's just like he just kept talking.
It says he is of South Indian Tamil descent.
There you are.
I would have guessed Indian.
His parents moved to America. So he's Indian American.
That sounds right.
It's not Indiana. No, I'm just kidding. So basically, he said he's going to start up a new one. Not sure where that one's at, but yep, that's where that went. I was honestly really surprised by that turn of events, that it was all about Jews. Milton Friedman.
Isn't everything?
It sure seems that way.
Milton Friedman mentioned, it says, other tech leaders are trying to carve out independent enclaves. Patry Friedman, a software engineer and grandson of economist Milton Friedman, first tried building floating city-states and then launched a fund to seed startup cities. He said investors and advisors included Belangi, Peter Thiel, and Mark Andreessen.
I think that's your
you think Patry was the Jew they were hiding?
No, I was just saying that Milton Friedman was mentioned here.
No, I'm asking you the question. Do you think Patry visited one time there in Malaysia? I was actually with him in Singapore when Balaji was setting all of this up. So he visits one time and the Malaysian government's, oh my God, there's a Jew.
Wow, Mark. I knew
Mark's
going to
end up on Interpol's Most Wanted with all the people he hangs out with internationally.
I was like, I knew Mark would be interested in this one, but I did not know he'd be there hiding the Jews.
Oh, I've got a video of Patry, sort of flipping a crab over at a Singaporean crab farm.
Why
so he's like holding it, like the guy's showing him how to hold it. And this is terrifying. I gotta say, this is a big crab.
It would scare me,
but the guy's like, no, it's no big deal. Patry's like trying to hold the crab. Patry's way braver than I am. I'm like, I'm not holding that crab. I'll take video.
Yeah,
they don't have a good range of motion with their front claws, man.
That's exactly what the guy was saying.
My dad got pinched in the foot at the beach, and it was bleeding so much.
Oh my gosh, that sounds painful.
Well, that's because he was on the front side of the front claw.
Yeah.
If you get them from behind, they can't scratch their own back. They're not going to be able to get you.
What do they do if their back itches? No, I'm just kidding.
Do like a bear does and rub it up against a tree, or wiggle into the sand.
That's funny. I don't know if there's much more to say about this. He's trying to get women, into this.
Another failed move here project.
Yeah, another failed move here project. And here's Prospera mentioned. It says one of its investments. So, okay, this thing by Milton Friedman, one of its investments is Prospera. Launched on a Honduran island in 2017, offering residents low taxes and light regulation, but Honduras's legislature soured on such special economic zones and moved to end them.
I got a question for Mark real quick. Are you like in close enough contact with Gardner Goldsmith by any chance?
Yeah, I can get a message to Gardner.
I don't need you to get him a message. I listened to his show, and he was very he said something weird that I only caught like a little piece of it and didn't really dig into it. But he was very negative towards these special economic zones and those places. Like he was not for them as far as what libertarians should be looking into. And I was wondering if you had a conversation with him and could either.
No.
Okay.
Maybe he's just so pro New Hampshire. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, that's why. I don't know.
That's what it comes down to is for a lot of these folks is like this. If you're not talking about New Hampshire, whatever it is sucks.
Okay.
Well, go ahead and tell me a little bit about it so I can tell you why it sucks. Because the only thing that makes sense is New Hampshire.
Okay.
And
I don't know if that was his point, but like, again,
I don't either.
Yeah.
But I have certainly had conversations like that.
Okay.
I've had them on this show. And
With bad
I will
slave.
say this, if you are a libertarian who is excited enough about seeing libertarian change within the government to pick up and move, there is only one place to move, and that's New Hampshire. However, if you're a person who wants to have more freedom in your life, I wouldn't guarantee that you're going to get that freedom in New Hampshire. You should look at whatever those top 3 freedoms are.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's weed, hookers, and machine guns, you should move to Las Vegas.
Fair.
You know, I mean,
as
You
I'm
have all those freedoms there, apparently.
Yeah.
as I'm recalling a little bit about what his point was, I think he said something to the effect of, well, they're still like subject to the state, and all they're really doing is a bunch of rich, white people and libertarians usurping the resources from the indigenous population.
Nonsense.
Okay. Well, again, it's not a full quote. It's an idea from like a glimpse of a show that I caught a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And it just caught me off guard when he said it.
This is the message that has been purported by the largely liberal journalists that write stories surrounding this, because what else can they say? Let me tell you about Prospera for a second. Prospera was a plot of land upon which no one lived. I was there when they still had the option to buy. There was one family that was a caretakers. They lived in a little shack. And then the other part of Prospera's 2 halves was a golf course community. So there was no one living there. There was no, little tribal Indians that were kicked off their land. I saw it.
Okay.
It's just false.
All right.
Same was true of Morazan. Morazan was just some farmland, and they bought it. I mean, 100 acres isn't much. Prosper is more like 300 acres now.
Okay. I was just curious if you were aware and if you had anything to say, and I appreciate the feedback.
If you read a newspaper, one of many newspaper stories about, excuse me, they don't call them newspapers anymore. Anyway, journalist scribblings about Prospera, and you can find the website at prospera.hn, you will come to the conclusion that the good people of Crawfish Rock, we've interviewed this one lady who has made her entire thing talking crap about the only industry that has given Crawfish Rock residents something to do, and where the vast majority of them work. But this one lady likes to talk crap, and so they interview her, and they're like, and the other side says this.
All right. Fair.
Yep.
I hold Gardner in pretty high regard and kind of trust what he has to say, and again, that's why that one.
I don't know what Gardner said. I'm just responding to these articles that I've read over and over again, going after. And journalists only care about giving the other side when it's something that they don't agree with.
Of course.
I mean,
I think it's kind of cool, this little sentence here. Maybe we can go into a funny article. It says, Bolanji, 46, grew up on Long Island, the son of Indian immigrant physicians. He once said he was bullied at school as the only brown kid among hundreds of people, and then unfairly punished for physically defending himself. I hate that about schools. I never had gotten that position or anything, but I always hated the fact that, like, if somebody came up and hit you, you knew that you'd both get, like, detention or ISS or whatever. That's stupid.
Yep.
Like, is there any defense of that? Like,
I mean, depends how you play it, right? I'm kind of an a-hole, right? So I antagonized a lot of people because I was also undersized in school, right? And in the chance of like getting them in trouble for like picking on me. So.
Oh my gosh, I can see it. I guess.
Like, what are you gonna do? Hit the small kid? Come on.
It did say that he was that he was small, right? Oh no, it didn't say that. It said he was the only brown kid. But it's defending himself. He said, "I learned early on that you've got to stand up for yourself. That the fix is in. The state is against you." Yep. Public school turns a lot of smart people into libertarians.
Yeah. I don't think I narked on anybody necessarily, but I did try to like make sure the authorities were looking when they tried to hurt me after I antagonized them to that point. I antagonized the teachers too.
Oh wow, you must have been
Really? That surprises me greatly.
Does it really?
No.
You must have fun in school.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and terror.
I had so many classmates in my small school that would like terrorize the teachers, and I just didn't understand it. Like I was just like, I just want to go home after this. Like I don't want to have this conversation making fun of our teacher all day because he's like autistic.
No, I probably should have been kicked. I've been in private school like my whole life, and I probably should have been kicked out on any number of occasions. And the excuse for not kicking me out was always, but he gets such good grades. We'll ruin his life if we send him to public school.
Oh my goodness!
And so
wow.
I just like
That's funny.
I
They
leaned
actually
into
know
it.
the truth in the private schools. Well, something that Richie Rich put into the show prep that I also had a like
Ancillary story too.
yeah like connected in a way. If you want to read it, you can.
No, go ahead.
So
I mean, I have it pulled up, but you go ahead.
this is from Toronto.citynews.ca. It's from Canada.
Reputable news source for
Right.
sure.
Toronto police seek wanted man accused of running fortune-telling scam worth thousands.
It's a brown guy,
And
probably
see,
an
like,
Indian.
I feel like some people might read that and think just simply, his name is Gangadhar Babu. So I think so
shoot.
too.
I was foreshadowing, Mark.
Why did Richie have me right?
Because I was foreshadowing.
Well, it is the most diverse, I think, not American. It's the most diverse North American city I've heard.
All right.
Well, anyways, I think some people would read that headline and just think the scam is just simply being a fortune teller, but I don't think so. I didn't read the article.
Okay.
I feel like there's more to it than just the fact that he was fortune telling.
Let's get into it.
Okay. So it says Toronto police are searching for a man. They're searching for him. Wow. Maybe he, can disappear too.
Blending into the native population.
No, that's not what I meant.
Presumably he knows where they're going to look.
Oh,
Then
my
it wouldn't
God.
be a scam.
He's only 29. Wow. He kind of looks older. It says Toronto police are searching for a man accused of posing as a psychic. What does that mean, posing? It's like you're impersonating a psychic. How
All
are they supposed to
psychics are
prove that?
impersonating a psychic. That's the point.
I'm not saying I agree with that, but I do think that doesn't make any sense that you could legally prove you're impersonating a psychic.
Well, you can't. You got to defend it, right? You got to do something psychic that like is provably
Yeah.
true, and most of them can't.
As far as I'm concerned, if you give your money to a psychic, you have given your money willingly to a psychic.
For entertainment purposes only.
I have.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. What'd you get, Bonnie? What was it like? I haven't done this.
I've actually given my money to multiple psychics, and one of them read my birth chart, and that was scary, crazy accurate. And the one
How
thing,
much did they, first I'd like to know how much.
honestly, I don't remember. This was like 4 years ago. It was maybe like $50 for an hour.
Okay. $50 for an hour. All right.
Yeah, maybe it was that.
For entertainment, I could see it.
And I've had free tarot readings, and this one guy that lived in Utah that I barely knew, he worked at a restaurant with me, just like this like gay guy, burnout type dude. He read my cards, and he told me that there was going to be some kind of a fight that will last like a few months, and you're going to lose money in it. And I don't know why. Like all I could think of was like I was going to be fighting with my friends over something and lose money. It doesn't even make any sense. But guess what? And my question was, what will happen
Bet
next
on Mike
year?
Tyson versus Jake Paul.
No.
Oh.
My question was like, what will happen next year? Which that was 2015, so next year was 2016. In 2016, I got the whole thing where the cops arrested me for DUI when I wasn't driving. It lasted months. I kept getting sent back home because the like one side wasn't ready or whatever. Like BS. It lasted months. I ended up paying money in the end. And it was like a fight back and forth.
They found you guilty?
I took a plea and abeyance thing, but it wasn't
okay.
even
All right.
too. At that point, it wasn't even a DUI.
Okay.
It was such BS, kangaroo court, and my public defender was just like, do whatever they say, like basically, and I didn't know anything. That's like how I became a libertarian.
All right. Yeah, their job is to help you fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, I was like telling her when I finally met her, I was like, oh, so nice to meet you. Let me tell you all the stuff. Like this is crazy. Like we're gonna win this, and
You're
she
never
was
gonna beat the
not
rap.
even listening.
Hold on, sugar. I gotta go.
Exactly.
You got a half an hour.
Exactly.
So,
She just walked me through the.
I will give you a positive public defender story.
Oh, okay.
Because every time I end up in court, I know I'm intelligent, but I pretend to be ignorant of what's going on. And I was in court for noise pollution or whatever. I was coming home from work late, and I had DMX thumping in my Corolla, and I got pulled over for noise. But it's like stop, drop, shut them down. Boo whoop. That's what happened. And so I'm in court. The public defender has, defended the person before me, and then sees me struggling to do something with the judge. I forget what was going on. She goes, well, I've got some time. Let me help you. I'm like, fantastic. And this is a kangaroo court, because the law specifically says that the officer must be able to hear the noise and positively identify the source of the noise from 100 feet away. And so the officer's testifying, and she goes, so at what point, like how far away was the car when you were able to positively identify the source of the noise?
Mm-hmm.
And he went, well, like 30 feet. I was like, oh, we got him.
Oh, man.
Like you failed to make an element of the case.
Nice. Did you win?
No, because
Wow.
the judge went like, well, even though it was further away, it was probably your car that he heard at 100 feet.
That's so stupid.
And the public defender goes like, thought we had him. And I went, thought we had him too. That was excellent. That's the exact question that I would have asked.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, more Free Talk Live coming up. 603-283-6160. It's like that guy Belangi said, the state is against you. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has visited the enclave of Ceuta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours, with at least 18 people killed. Sanchez condemned the mass crossing as an attack on Spain's territorial integrity, but stopped short of blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over both Ceuta and Melilla. France has announced it's reinforcing controls along its border with Spain, while Italy has called for Spain to be suspended from Europe's open borders Schengen zone. Ross Cullen reports from Bordeaux.
Juan Jesus Vivas, who is the president of the Spanish semi-enclave, said on Friday that the situation that Ceuta is going through is absolutely unsustainable after 60,000 migrants crossed the border with Morocco into the Spanish city located on the North African coast. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the breach of the border during a visit to Ceuta, saying that the arrival of thousands of migrants was an attack on Spain's territorial integrity. But he stopped short from blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over Ceuta and Melilla, another Spanish semi-enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast.
Several Palestinians were wounded in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza Friday, just hours after US President Donald Trump announced a deal for the complete disarmament of Hamas, a deal the Israeli government says it can't accept. The agreement signed in Egypt would require Israel to pull back from territory it seized in Gaza, beyond the positions it held when the ceasefire took effect. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's defense minister has repeatedly said Israel will remain in Gaza permanently. From Tel Aviv, Blake Sifton reports.
The Israeli military has recently been carrying out strikes several times per week in Gaza, aimed at targeting members of Hamas they say were involved in the October 7th attacks. We should remember that at least 1,168 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes in Gaza since the ceasefire came into effect. And just a little while ago, there were reports of further airstrikes in Gaza. So the ball really now is in Israel's court about whether or not to accept this proposal. Prime Minister Netanyahu is under extraordinary pressure not to withdraw from Gaza.
Costa Rica's Rebecca Greenspan's emerged as the frontrunner in the first informal straw poll to choose the next United Nations Secretary-General, winning 10 votes of encouragement from the 15 members of the Security Council. 7 candidates, 4 women, 3 men, are vying to succeed Antonio Guterres, whose second 5-year term expires at the end of December. The Security Council did not officially release the results, and paper ballots were destroyed after counting. And the Asian Football Confederation has joined counterparts in the Americas and Europe to oppose a move to sell off minority stakes in FIFA. Football's governing bodies propose creating a subsidiary through third parties that could have a role in organising major tournaments, including the World Cup. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com.
Welcome back to Free Talk Live. You can call 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us and bring up whatever is on your mind. That's 603-283-6160. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
Rich.
Oh, I did it.
Oh, again, twice in a row.
Mark Edge remotely.
Sorry, Mark. We were talking about this story from toronto.citynews.ca. Riley, how...
It's a reputable news source. It's a very reputable news source.
Yeah, exactly. More reputable than this psychic guy, apparently. It says that Toronto police are searching for a man accused of posing as a psychic and spiritual healer to defraud victim, so just one victim apparently, of thousands of dollars in what investigators describe as an elaborate fortune teller scam.
Wow.
Wow. It's just like you could hire a fortune teller and then go to the government and say he scammed me. Like, that's ridiculous.
The irony is if the Toronto police had their own psychic on staff to help hunt this guy down.
Oh my God, that's so true. That's funny.
We're going to help with the investigation. I heard you guys are looking for another one of us.
That's so funny.
That'd be hilarious.
The worst one, like from the Montel show from back in the day. Okay, you're shaking your head, Riley.
I don't know. I just think it's silly that we're talking about fortune tellers and things because, I don't know. I guess for me, I'm kind of skeptical about fortune telling.
As you should be. But the famous one that was on Montel was like Sylvia Brown. And she was on one show or whatever, and the family came to like get her psychic reading, and she said, "Sorry, your daughter's she's dead. I got a message from beyond. She just wants you to tell you, just live your life. She wants," and they found her alive years later.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
That's nuts.
So they got this peace of mind from the psychic to like let their daughter go.
Oh.
And the daughter was alive the whole time. They should have kept the search going.
That's awful.
Yes, they're awful.
I don't know that I've ever heard one where that.
As far as I'm concerned, if they call themselves a psychic, you've been warned.
I know, that's why
Fair.
I'm just saying, like, it's ridiculous. You could actually go and say, "I've been scammed." It's like you paid for a psychic, like.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes only. Anything beyond that,
They probably just shouldn't run for the
Caveat
police
emptor.
and just say for entertainment purposes only. Just make sure they cover that. Like put it on your website. According to
They went after the psychic hotline and
Oh.
Miss Cleo.
Calling me now.
And all that stuff.
Really?
They went, yes. I mean, the government hates psychics because they're the only ones with superpowers.
Nice.
And
They're
the
the ones
psychics
who
were
can
making
solve
bank.
every
Like that was a
problem.
big deal.
Yeah, didn't have a way to get it cut. According to police, between April 2024 and September 2025, the suspect allegedly operated under the name Babu, that is his name apparently, but anyways, presenting himself as a psychic, fortune teller, and spiritual healer through a business called Indian Psychic and Spiritual Healer.
Told you, foreshadowing.
Oh my gosh. Investigators say the man exploited the victim's belief in the supernatural, just one victim, using rituals and frightening claims to convince them that they and their loved ones would suffer death or serious harm unless they continued paying him for spiritual protection. Riley, does this sound anything like getting your blessing from the
My patriarchal
Bishop?
blessing? No, not really. I mean, in Mormonism, so for people who don't know, I grew up in Mormonism, and the idea of a patriarchal blessing is you go get a recommend from your bishop to say, hey, this guy is, or this person's ready to receive their quote unquote patriarchal blessing. So you go meet with this guy, this old guy in your geographical region in your particular part of the world, and he gives you a blessing that gives you what tribe of Israel you come from. This is how weird Mormonism is. And then he gives you a blessing about, what God wants for your life. In my case, some of the things I was told I could get married, but a big one for me is that I would be able to contribute to society. So, I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying necessarily
Did you talk
yours
to him about running
specifically.
for office?
No, that was years and years ago.
I didn't mean yours
Time for
specifically,
another
but just like Alyssa Grenfell, who you've told me you listen to her
Yeah, I
videos
listen to
sometimes.
her.
She's an ex-Mormon. She said that they were telling her things like you might stray away from Mormonism for a while, and then you'll end up homeless when you do, but you'll come back. It was kind of.
It is kind of hooey, but I don't think you pay a ton of money for it.
Not money. Yeah, I didn't mean
You don't pay money.
scam, as in money. Yeah.
Also sounds like just passing around the collection plate so the church will pray for you.
But it is like a psychic blessing.
It is kind of like a psychic blessing. Yes, I'll give you that.
I mean, what is the difference between a psychic and whatever you're talking about here? I don't know what psychic blessing, whatever it is, and advice or predicting the future. I mean, don't if I were to say, Riley, stay home tomorrow, you might be hit by a car.
It's a good possibility. I mean, I do live on Leverett Street, and I might walk out in the street.
You are blind.
He also said might, which
Yes.
covers his butt. Should you actually leave the house tomorrow?
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Well, but my warning caused him to not leave the house at the time that he would have otherwise without the warning,
right?
I guess, or something. And I mean, it's just a prediction. Everybody knows predictions aren't true. Now, I suppose I can't personally. I shudder to think that Toronto police time is being spent on trying to recover funds and right the wrong of a person who was told demons are going to get you if you don't give me money.
Hey, Mark, have you ever come across the monster that runs away from gay people?
The monster that runs away from gay people.
Yeah. You ever
I
come
guess
across?
not.
No, knew it.
Of course, you haven't crossed paths with them. Wonderful radio.
I'm just glad it doesn't run away from pedophiles.
Oh my god. Anyways, so police have identified the suspect as Gangadhar Babu, 29, who is wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for fraud.
Wow.
Over $5,000, possession of proceeds obtained by crime over $5,000, and laundering proceeds of Canadian crime.
He's hiding from all of Canada. He should sneak into the U.S.
I know, right?
It's a Canada-wide manhunt for this guy.
He's described as a 5'6" with a slender build, dark curly hair, brown hair, dark brown eyes, trim beard, and a noticeable gap between his front teeth. And there's an image of him. Honestly surprised he's slim. He doesn't look slim in that picture at all. Investigators believe there may be additional victims of the psychic scam and urging anyone who may have been targeted to come forward. Apparently they only have the one.
Any of his customers come forward.
Right. Well, that's kind of sad news. There is this story about in Pennsylvania. It's actually legal to be a fortune teller there too, and this woman is fighting back, but we'll get into that. David in New Mexico, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, this is Mark Edge remotely. First of all, Bonnie.
Oh, that's not the show name. Doesn't even sound like that's what he's saying.
No.
You got Mark all
He's
choked
dying.
up now.
I'm Mark Edge. I'm Mark Edge remotely.
Oh, I see. He's
So
just.
do you think I should say remotely, Mark Edge?
Either way, man, you can. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you remember what was it, fourth grade English, where you can change up the sentence. You can put one part in front of the other, and then change it back, and it means the same thing.
In some cases, yeah.
I think you should obfuscate the truth, Mark, and not mention that you're remote at all.
It would be an obfuscation. I don't feel like I owe an explanation to the listener, but I just like to give them the idea of what's happening.
Be Mark Edge oddly.
Mark Edge on location. Our reporter in the field, Mark Edge.
He's out in space because there's a states map behind him.
because he's the intergalactic space wizard.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Sitting here on my little Death Star circling the Earth.
Nice.
Gonna take Richie out on his way home
What the heck?
with a low orbit ion cannon.
Go ahead.
As a segue back into what I called about, did you do your little advertisement yet, Mark?
Salt
The
at Mark Edge.
I haven't. If you have cryptocurrency, and I am now currently working with Salt Lending, so if you have cryptocurrency, please get a hold of me because I can help you tax-free access value within your cryptocurrency. Maybe you want to buy some more right now. Maybe you want to buy a car. Maybe you want to buy a house. Whatever the reason might be that you need some money, we can use that cryptocurrency as collateral. You don't lose it. It's still yours. And then, you get some money and you can buy what you need. So salt@markedge.org. Thank you very much, David, for the opportunity. Salt@markedge.org.
Did you get around to asking them what you said you would ask them about a calculator?
What did I say? I tried to get a hold of Salt this week, and I haven't been able to. They're doing some big convention or something, so I haven't been able to get a hold of them.
Do you remember the calculator we're talking about?
I don't. It was a mortgage calculator, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. Basically, it would be. I mean, and I'm not an expert, so I'm using terminology that's probably incorrect, but I would call it like an arbitrage calculator. Like
Okay.
if I'm sitting on a big nest egg of Bitcoin, and I want to segue into that in a second. But if I'm sitting on a bunch of Bitcoin and I'm not doing anything with it at the moment, I don't want to sell it, and I get a loan against it from you guys, and then maybe I want to go buy more crypto or more Bitcoin with what I borrow from you, and I'm not really good at math, and so I want to use a calculator to see what, if I borrow this at this rate, and then I buy this other thing, and it happens to perform, and this is not the financial advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A calculator like that.
I mean, I kind of asked you this a few weeks ago, Mark, when I said, like, can this just turn into an infinite crypto loop? Because the more you take the loan, you buy the crypto, you leverage that against another loan ad infinitum.
Not exactly infinite, but yeah.
Well,
you can
funny you asked. I
keep
can
borrowing.
answer that. You guys from the many times I've asked you, you guys don't like to buy and sell crypto. You just like to buy it and hold it forever and then just pay your bills with it, right?
Well, I'm not going to tell anybody when to buy or sell because I found that my crystal ball just doesn't work very well.
And being a psychic is a fraud in at least two jurisdictions.
But I will say this. I did tell people that if Bitcoin's worth $1, it's worth $1 million. I will amend that statement to this, that if, that all the...
63,000?
What's that?
63,000? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, 63,000
it's the market
isn't
cap
far
of
off,
all the
but
cryptos at this point.
I never predicted cryptocurrency going beyond Bitcoin. In my mind, when I was saying that, is just sort of, if you take the market cap of cryptocurrency divided by 21 million, that day I'm correct. And you come up with $1 million, then that day I'm correct.
Like all crypto?
All of crypto, yeah.
Yep.
Which is a lot, because there's a lot of crypto.
I have a lot more favorites than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's surviving this whole thing where apparently that one wallet didn't make secure enough.
That's not a Bitcoin problem.
Old wallet?
People are mad mad in the Bitcoin world about it, like saying like...
Yeah, they should be mad at the Bitcoin world, but it's not a Bitcoin problem.
It's a hardware wallet.
It's a hardware wallet problem.
Yeah, but I'm still surprised that people aren't just like freaking out,
People are freaking out.
And
a lot of people
selling
lost money.
or whatever.
Well, the people who still have access to their crypto on that wallet have been advised to get it out of that wallet as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but not just get out of the wallet, but like sell and stuff like that. That's what I'm imagining. But
I mean,
it hasn't affected the price.
I'm not popular as you on X, but I did post early. I think it was earlier today. Like, crypto bros are finally realizing why banks were invented.
Oh,
right?
my gosh.
Like you can stuff all your cash into a mattress and then you're responsible for it, right? Or you entrust it into an institution. but they've been propagandized that not your crypto, not your coin. So any sort of exchange
Well,
is
what if the
inherently
exchange
evil.
just ends up having faulty random number generator?
Then I will post crypto bros are finally realizing why FDIC insurance is a thing.
Oh, to be a
he's contrarian. of
contrarian.
course.
Yeah.
It's not really a contrarian. These things, like, they didn't exist, and then the banks had issues, and then they were instituted. The fact that there's government involvement is beside the point, right? You don't want it if you have a lot of money, you don't want it all in a vault in your house, right? You're a single target, so you entrust it into a bank, and if the bank has a problem, they're insured, so you don't lose anything even when the bank gets robbed, right? It makes sense. And then crypto comes around, they go like, just get this hardware app and be responsible for your entire wealth all on your own with no safety net.
Yeah.
Because
People
that's
should
the
think
way
like
of the
that.
future, bro.
Nothing should be in one egg. Or
Yeah.
basket.
No
sorry.
egg should be in one
Yeah, there we
basket.
go. Sorry. Well, whenever I go visit Ian next week, I'm going to read his palms. I guess I'll have to Google how to do that, just so I can be breaking the Pennsylvania fortune-telling law.
Yeah.
There's a law in Pennsylvania. I thought it was the opposite of that it was legal to be a fortune teller in Pennsylvania.
No. There was the guy in Toronto who was just like, they're just saying it was a scam, so I'm not sure if that was a specific law. That article ended and it didn't really give us enough information in that way. But this from WJACTV.com.
Another reputable news source.
Right. I thought it was a joke. Tarot reader sues borough over Pennsylvania fortune-telling law. And it says, a Hanover shop owner who built a business around tarot readings and spiritual guidance is now in a legal fight over an old Pennsylvania law that dates back to the Civil War. Beck Ravenswood, the owner of the Serpent's
Harry Potter
Key,
fame.
apparently a Slytherin, because she owns the Serpent's Key, said they have been interested in witchcraft since childhood. It started off as a party trick, Ravenswood said. What, was she like moving things with her mind?
I mean, cold reading is a party trick. You can learn to do it, and that's what psychics do.
Nice. Yeah, true. I mean, I'm not saying that's only what they do, but I agree that that could be a party trick. Ravenswood said that interest eventually became a business. I ended up opening my shop in Hanover in 2023, Ravenswood added. That same year, they said, it's a they, them. She ran into legal trouble. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it the whole time.
One of those.
Ran into legal trouble with the Hanover Borough Police Department after an officer came to the shop. That's got to be why they keep saying Ravenswood said. I was like, why are they saying the name so much? He came in to cite me and tell me that the tarot reading was illegal. It's crazy.
How long does it say how long she was operating before she was first summoned?
About a year, it said.
Okay.
Wow.
So they left her alone for a year.
Oh, that same year. No, just
Okay.
in 2023, but it was in the same year.
All
So
right.
no, it doesn't specifically say. I thought it said it in a year.
Cop goes in there because his wife got a reading. Got called out on something he
Your
shouldn't have been
husband's
doing.
cheating on you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
We got to shut this place down.
And he looks on the books and he finds a Civil War law. That's crazy. The issue centers on Pennsylvania's fortune-telling statute, first established in 1861.
Wow.
Yeah. The law says in part, a person is guilty of a misdemeanor of the third degree if he pretends, okay, she's a they, so, oh man, I'm not trying to do it at this point anyways. If he
I wouldn't take this particular tack if I was defending my client.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
It
The
says
law
he-
says he,
Yeah.
and this is clearly a she.
They
or
tried
they,
to
them.
talk
It's
about
clearly
that.
a they, them.
Yeah. They tried to say something about this in New Hampshire State House recently, where there was a law that said he, she, so they just wanted to fix it so that way nobody could make that point. It says, the law says in part, a person is guilty of a misdemeanor of the third degree if he pretends for gain or lucre to tell... Lucre?
I think
What
it's
is
lucre.
that? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what lucre is.
Gain.
Okay.
Money.
To tell fortunes or predict future events by cards, tokens, and so on. That is a crazy law.
And so on. Way to be open-ended.
It stopped the quote and just said "and so on," which is
Okay.
a little weird.
All right.
We do have a caller on the line, so let's go to Chad in Michigan. Michigan, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about Lake Satoshi. I went to the Bitcoin retreat yesterday, and it was super cool. the property's really awesome. There's a couple hundred Bitcoin enthusiasts there, and it was a really good time. Fortunately, we got rained on a lot, but the property, which is where we're going to be doing MPLF next week, is amazing. It's huge.
We briefly mentioned the cold card debacle. Do you have any insight on that?
On what? Sorry.
The cold wallet debacle that's making the round.
I don't know anything about that.
All right.
But yeah, I'm actually. I mean, I'm not. Super into Bitcoin and crypto myself, but a lot of my friends are, and I have a little bit, but I'm not an expert on it.
I just thought it might have been part of the discussion while you were at Lake Satoshi.
Yeah, not to anyone that I talked to when I got there. I got there pretty late, and everyone was just kind of hanging out.
All right.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, this guy that built this out did a really good job. It was awesome. He's got RV hookups everywhere. It's a beautiful property, really well maintained, with a huge lake on it with boats. He's got diving boards to jump right into the lake, into this quarry lake that he's got. It's just really cool to see a liberty-minded person who's got a lot of money really doing something that's really cool for the community,
Just don't try to expand it to its own autonomous zone or city.
It practically is, but he keeps it as a private property. It's not like you can just go there anytime you want. But, I thought it was only 24 RV hookups. He's got way more than that, and they're all over the property, and he maintains the whole thing. I couldn't believe how much, just big treed areas that are all grass, all the brush is removed, and he put grass under them and mows all the grass.
Nice. That sounds so nice.
It was beautiful. There's a couple hundred people there camping, and there were really nice areas with trees where people had their tents and everything set up, and everyone was swimming, and it was really cool. I was super, super impressed with it.
Is the water see-through because it's like a quarry and it's filled?
It was very clear.
Nice. That
it was
sounds
very
nice.
clear, and the lake was huge. It's a big crescent-shaped lake. There's actually multiple lakes on the property, but and he's got a whole beach, a huge beach that he put on it with a playground. Like I said, it's deep
That's
enough
awesome.
to put a seawall. It's deep enough that he has multiple levels of diving boards, really high ones that you can just jump and dive straight into the water right from the shore.
Wow. What's a seawall?
It's like a retaining wall to keep so that you don't get erosion. So yeah.
Are there waves in a quarry lake?
Well, there's some waves. He's got motorboats in it and stuff like that.
Oh, it's big.
I don't know exactly why, but it's to stabilize the land. It is an artificial lake. He dug it all out himself over years of mining.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, I'm assuming he needed a retaining wall there. The whole thing doesn't have a retaining wall, but part of it does, right next to the beach.
Lake Satoshi was created by mining?
Yes.
Nice. That's awesome.
Quarrying limestone. And he's got a big, a barn on it that he had a whole banquet thing set up in there, and it had a loft, and they had speakers and everything in there. I didn't see any of the speakers because I got there kind of late. But
if only New Hampshire libertarians were socialists, you'd pool all your resources and do that for Porkfest.
Yeah. You mean socialists would just take his Lake Satoshi?
No, I'm saying
Just kidding.
the New Hampshire libertarians all broke, right? So not one of them's going to do a billionaire thing like turn a quarry into a lake. But all your broke libertarians in New Hampshire could pool their resources.
He's not a billionaire, but he's well off. He was already well off with his company, and then invested into Bitcoin early on, and obviously made a lot of money. So he still runs his business and everything. He's not retired. In fact, he's like a workaholic. So he's still doing a lot of stuff, but he does he also does major construction projects. He's like a general contractor. So he's building large buildings. I guess he's building some high schools and stuff right now. So he's a smart guy, and the property, he's got multiple cabins built. He's got them up on poles that are overlooking the lake. It's absolutely beautiful. It's really awesome. So I'm really excited for MPLF this year, and hopefully we get a good turnout, and hopefully we can get some get some good pictures and media and stuff for next year.
When does it start?
It's this Thursday is the first day, and it ends on Sunday.
Do you have a website?
mplfest.org.
mplfest.org. Well, thank you for the call, and more Free Talk Live at freetalklive.com. Thanks for listening. You can follow us on X at Free Talk Live. Thanks for listening, and peace.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Coming up next after the news, Hour 1 of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, here at listen.freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm James Goodison. US President Donald Trump says Israel is very happy with the Hamas disarmament deal brokered by his Board of Peace, but a senior Israeli official has told reporters and local media that Israel doesn't accept the proposal and will not carry out any withdrawals from Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has yet to comment publicly on the agreement, which was announced on Thursday night and would require Hamas to surrender its weapons in phases while Israeli forces pull back from the territory. The deal stipulates that a detailed disarmament roadmap must be finalised within 14 days. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
He said, in response to various reports about political progress in Gaza, Israel has reiterated that there will be no IDF withdrawal from the current yellow line without genuine disarmament of Hamas. Now, that suggests that for the Israeli government, any kind of withdrawal, including to the original lines of October, will be predicated on serious and significant disarmament from Hamas. Now, another implication of this plan for the Israeli military will be on their ability to strike in Gaza. A Board of Peace member speaking to the media said that those strikes would need to be limited to immediate threats.
Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has visited the enclave of Ceuta after tens of thousands of migrants crossed the border from Morocco in the space of 24 hours, with at least 18 people killed. Sanchez confirmed the mass crossing as an attack on Spain's territorial integrity, but stopped short of blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over both Ceuta and Melilla. France has announced it's reinforcing controls along its border with Spain, while Italy has called for Spain to be suspended from Europe's open borders Schengen zone. Ross Cullen reports from Bordeaux.
Juan Jesus Vivas, who is the president of the Spanish semi-enclave, said on Friday that the situation that Ceuta is going through is absolutely unsustainable after 60,000 migrants crossed the border with Morocco into the Spanish city located on the North African coast. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the breach of the border during a visit to Ceuta, saying that the arrival of thousands of migrants was an attack on Spain's territorial integrity. But he stopped short from blaming Morocco, which has long claimed sovereignty over Ceuta and Melilla, another Spanish semi-enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast.
And US markets are swinging on Friday as the 10-year Treasury yield climbs to 4.73%, its highest in over a year. And a massive global chip rally triggered by big tech earnings sends South Korea's Kospi index up 18%. On Wall Street, Amazon and Apple have delivered starkly contrasting results. Amazon's stock has jumped roughly 15% on blowout cloud earnings, while Apple shares have dropped around 10% after the iPhone maker issued disappointing guidance, blaming supply constraints on chips and memory. The Apple earnings call was the last for outgoing chief executive